Hey, greetings. Welcome to Hope tonight. I got the good water tonight. That means it's gonna be a good class. It's that fancy shit. I'm excited about tonight's class. There's a lot to unpack, so I hope everybody had a good week. I hope we all moved forward and moved the needle a little bit or a lot in terms of our business, our endeavors, our learning, our growing, all of it, because it's important. It's no time to waste. So let's get right into it. The title of the class is "You Don't Have the Answer, Sway." All right, first slide. Now, I'm gonna preface this first slide with a story. I'm in high school running with a group of kids. It's not probably the best kids to run with, right? But they had a problem with another group, and the way we decided to settle it was just one-on-one. Nobody jumps in, one-on-one, right? So the two dudes square off, and it was just a lopsided victory. Dude number one just beat the shit out of dude. And so dude number two said, "I thought you said it was one-on-one." And they said it was one-on-one. Nuh-uh, I got jumped. You didn't get jumped. You just got your ass whooped so bad it felt like you was getting jumped. No, it's no way. I got jumped. And the funny thing about that, I thought it was a one-off thing, but over the course of life, I've heard that story a few times. I heard it happen to a person over here, another person said over here, and it became a real effect. And after doing research, because me and ChatGPT is really cool, the "I got jumped" effect, it's a neurological disorder that all of our brains have when certain events happen. The "I got jumped" effect. So let's read what it is.
Definition: the "I got jumped" effect describes a cognitive distortion.
Distortion.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm reading from across the room. Distortion that occurs when a person experiences psychological or physical defeat so severe that the brain alters memories and perception to protect the ego.
The ego. So remember, our brain's job is to protect us. It's for survival. It's not built for thriving. It's built for survival and to protect our ego. Keep going.
In similar terms. In simple terms, you take such a bad loss that your mind swears multiple people jumped you, even if it was only one. It's your brain rewriting reality to preserve self-image and minimize pain.
So your brain literally will rewire reality to soothe your soul, to soothe you, to make you feel good, to minimize the pain that you would have felt if you would have had to face reality. No, you lost. It was one-on-one. He was way shorter than you. You thought you had it in the bag, and he beat the shit out of you. That's the reality. No, there's no way. And in that moment, I thought that his pride was so hurt that he was lying. But in reality, he truly believed that he got jumped. Now, how does that apply to us in entrepreneurship in any way? You're about to find out. Let's keep going.
When faced with humiliation, loss, or pain, the brain activates a self-protective mechanism known in psychology as cognitive dissonance reduction. The ego can't reconcile the reality, "I got beat," with the identity, "I'm strong, smart, capable."
Mm-hmm.
To relieve that internal conflict, it creates an alternate explanation. It wasn't fair. They cheated. It wasn't just one person.
Now, you starting to see how this "I got jumped" effect correlates to a lot of us in everyday life. A lot of times we would rather create not even we would rather. A lot of times automatically we create new stories, different stories that's alternate from reality in order to make our ego feel better, to make us feel good, so that we don't have the shock of facing reality. So we get to blame, and the blames come quick and easy, quick off the tongue, because your mind is wired to protect you. Let's keep going.
This is the same reflex that makes us blame external factors instead of our own preparation or decisions. It's your biology's version of saying, I didn't lose, I got jumped.
Had to be. My business fucked up because of the economy. My relationship is fucked up because of, it had to be. I'm poor because systemic and because of the racism that happens today. I'm broke because of this. Had to be. We can't get ahead because we got jumped. We got jumped. It's a war on families. We got jumped. We got jumped. We got jumped. We got jumped. So and if I say I got jumped and you say you got jumped and everybody in the same room say they got jumped, then who's going to be able to speak truth? Nobody. Man, why your face like that? I got jumped. Mine is true. Look at this. You got jumped too? Yep.
Damn.
Reality's nowhere to be found. No fucking way to entrepreneur with that mindset. It's no way. In the cold part is, we're all wired to do it. Ain't nobody better than the other. Nobody have a special gene that removes them from having that cognitive dissonance bias. We all have it. All of our first inclination jump is to be like, I got jumped. So it happens to all of us. It's the ones who grow know that entrepreneurship and even some aspects of life is counterintuitive, and you have to rewire your brain to reposition your thinking in certain ways that you don't jump out and say, I got jumped when something happened. Those are the same. Here's a stupid, easy version of this. Small version of I got jumped. Black folks do it all the time. I watched a video on the study of different cultures of this. It's funny as fuck. If you're walking as a black man walking down the street and you trip over something, what do you do after that?
Look around, see if somebody saw.
What do you do? You look at the ground. You look back at it like something must have jumped up and fucked with me. It's no way, because I'm such a smooth walker. It's no way I could have messed up. There's no way I could have messed up. A hand must have came out the ground and grabbed my foot. Same thing as I got jumped. Our brain is wired to think I got jumped if something goes wrong. Wired to think like that. So how do we, as entrepreneurs, how do we undo that? That's the question. First is understanding it. Awareness can be curative for some, but the next move is how do you fix the shit? Let's keep going.
Rationale versus rationalization. Behaviorally, this is the line between being rational, integrating uncomfortable data and adjusting behavior, rationalizing, reconstructing the story to avoid discomfort.
Okay, so first thing in understanding, there is a big difference between being rational and rationalizing. Do you guys get that? You get the difference? A highly intelligent person can rationalize anything. Got it. You got it. Go ahead. You got it. Win every argument. You got it, bro. Take it. Shit. Sky red. Go ahead. You only have to allow them to feel whatever the results of their rationalization is, but arguing with them is futile. So that's one of the dangers of being highly intelligent with very little discipline, very little moral compass, because you can wordplay your way around every scenario. And it sounds good. Sounds good to you, and it'll sound good to everybody in the room. You can sell that shit. But that's a difference between being rational. Because rational is you're processing data. Regardless of how comfortable or uncomfortable the data is, you're processing data. And you don't move it to the left or to the right to make it feel better, feel good. It's the data is the data. The truth is the truth. Regardless of how uncomfortable it makes you feel. And the more you get comfortable being uncomfortable, the more you get comfortable with uncomfortable data, this is how you start to defeat that effect that's naturally in all of our brains. Face it. Face it. Does anybody just, you won't go on the internet and look at your bank account because if you don't look at it, then maybe some money will jump in there automatically.
It's happened.
Right? Because rationalization and being rational, two different things. Uncomfortable conversations, have it. Uncomfortable situations, have it. When I was a kid, I got whoopings like it was vitamins daily. So I do something and my mom say, "You getting a whooping when you get home." And it might be like 6:00 and the church we in is like 2 hours away. So I gotta fucking sit there and torture for 2 hours. So we in the car and I would try to fall asleep method. Fall asleep in the car. So maybe if I fall asleep in the car, she have mercy on my soul and just take me to bed. You know what she do? She just leave. And I'd be in that car. I'm 6, 7 years old. It's 9, 10 o'clock at night at East Oakland. So I'm thinking, shit, do I face the goons and goblins out here or do I go in the house and get that whooping? Because I didn't want to face it. I didn't want to face it. I don't want to face the uncomfortable situation that happened when I was a kid. My sister, on the other hand, she is a gangster. My sister would be like, let's see, I'm going to be bad for 3 hours and then I'm going to come home and get a whooping for 30 seconds. That sounds worth it to me.
Wow.
And my mom would be like, didn't you know that you was going to get you? Yeah, I knew. That's why I had hella fun, because I knew that it would be worth it when I got here. She faced it. As a kid, I didn't. We grow up with some of those same thought processes in the way we think. Entrepreneurship is a counterintuitive to what's in us. And the best entrepreneurs, either they learned to separate the rationalization from being rational. And it takes discipline, and it takes practice, and it takes constant failure and going at it again and failing again and trying again and postmortems and thinking back, what can I learn from this? And let me try it. That's all it is. It's not a perfect game, but it's a serious game that you have to play. If you ever been around seasoned entrepreneurs, a lot of times they seem like they're doing too much, or they're too detailed, or you're correcting every small little word. It's because you train your brain that way. You train your brain to be rational, to think in ones and zeros when it's time. Doesn't mean that at certain times you can relax, chill, put your shoulders down, not give a fuck. But when you turn that switch on and when it's business time, you're a different animal. You're a different animal. Somebody came into my office today and said, hey, he just started. Only been here a month. So he comes in my office and I know I look chill and relaxed and all this shit and I talk hella shit. But yo, when you talking to me about money, like he said, yeah, so I quoted somebody a price that was $3,600, and about a month and a half later the price changed and it was $4,200. So, can we just meet somewhere with her in the middle? You came in, this is what you prepared for me? I got hella questions. What's the profit margin? What's the profit margin? And why'd you promise her that low price in the beginning? And what's the price now? And why is the price that way? And how much money, how much profit are we making on each garment? Like I threw him about 10 different questions. And he was like, oh, okay. I'm like, yo, you can't come in my office with their vague ass details. You want me to say, yeah, just meet in the middle somewhere. What kind of boss do you think would I look like? Without gathering the rational details and the data. Oh, you're feeling some type of way about quoting her a lower price and now you have to quote her a higher price. So you want to come down off our money because you feel bad.
Nah, player.
Let me get out of here. Rationalizing versus being rational. Next slide. Are we finished with this slide?
2 more sentences.
Yeah.
The first is how high performers grow. The second is how average minds protect themselves from change.
Yo. So you could protect yourself from change and pain and all that shit. That's not this class though. That surely ain't this class. That's 2 doors to the left.
Class down the hall.
Yeah, that's that class. That ain't this class. This class, you hit with clear reality. You ain't entrepreneuring if you ain't felt no feelings of reality and pain and stress. And that's why I fuck with Shakina so hard last week. Like in some of her questions, you can feel the fire in her and wanting to get this shit. That's what entrepreneurship is about. It's not no cakewalk. It's not floating around and I'm just going to hide myself from the pain and then I open it back up when you tell me it's good. And, nah. You have to grow bigger than your problems. And entrepreneurship is inherently the wild. It's the closest thing to the wild. It's where somebody could take you out and not give a fuck about you and walk over you. And it's legal to do. Somebody can watch what you're doing and seeing you got a lot of attention and go back and copy every single thing you did and take all your customers, and it's legal to do. Like anything and everything within the wild, that it's the closest thing to the wild. You can come up with a dope ass slogan right now and you got it popping in Oakland. And I'll go trademark.com and say, hey, did he trademark that? Oh, he didn't. It's mine now. And now I say, hey, don't use that no more. And you're like, wait, but I started it. Well, motherfucker, you should have paid that $365 on trademark.com site. Casualty of war. That's the wild. That's the world we in, that people want to play soft in and want to be subsidized and mad just because we honest. Storm out the class because we were honest. But you going into a world where it's like that. Hey, you know what? Tariffs, 145%. Hey, can we talk about it? No, ain't no talking about shit. That's just the way it is. But I ain't making that much profit. Yeah, so what? Deal with it. Figure it out. That's the business world we're in. So think about having rationalization and the I got jumped effect in this world. And I just said 4. We could spend the whole class going down the line of like, there's a couple in New York right now. They opened a franchise, and one of their employees sued them for like $6 million because there's a loophole in the law in New York about working part-time that they found, and they just found a loophole. And the cold part is the couple went to court and fixed it and had it overturned, had the ruling overturned, but they had it overturned for the future and everybody else in New York, but they still got to pay the $6 million.
It's a pretty penny to learn a lesson.
So the city of New York acknowledged that it was bullshit and it needed to be fixed, but because it was the law at the time that they got sued, they still had to pay. That's why we so hyped and about this kind of shit, about keeping shit real, staying in reality, being rational, confronting being rational and not rationalization. We have been in the era of rationalization for years now, and now we're seeing the ill effects of it. This whole time in the class, we've been like, fuck that shit. Don't do it. I don't care. And received some major backlash and lost friends from it. But now you understand entrepreneurship is no joke. So then when your bus gets hit, your ship gets attacked, you already know what it is when you've been playing this rational game. You know what it is. You know what it is. Versus, how could this happen to me? I've been in my bubble for so long, and now you're disturbing my bubble. So this is hell of important. Man, it's so important. Next slide.
The neurochemistry of avoidance. After a painful event, adrenaline and cortisol flood the system, the fight or flight chemicals. Once they fade, dopamine-driven reasoning kicks in, the search for emotional equilibrium. To restore self-esteem, the brain distorts facts until the emotional pain subsides. This is the biological root of denial and excuse-making.
Now, I'm not demonizing anyone. This is how our brains are wired. This is how we cope with pain and stress. This is a natural response and occurrence to how our minds and bodies deal with emotional pain. It's the same similar thing that happens when you get hurt or you get punched or you get cut or you get anything. Adrenaline takes over and it numbs the pain for a while to give you time to get your shit together. Get out of there to get to adrenaline kicks in to give you some time to get to a safe place so that you can chill. That's how your body is designed. Same thing that happens with your mind. Body and the mind complement each other very well. So when your brain is attacked, your brain does a similar thing. It creates new stories. You increase dopamine, so certain reasoning and rationalizations kick in, so your brain doesn't think it's that bad. So this part of the game, this part of your psychology, biology is normal. What we're saying is, in entrepreneurship, we have to override that. We have to override it. And we have to have the ability, like we have to be able to install a switch to turn it on in entrepreneurship to make good decisions, to make the best decision. Keep going.
Rewiring begins when you catch this distortion in real time and replace emotional safety with factual clarity.
Man. So the end goal of this is to catch it in time. It's to catch it in time. And if you ain't been practicing it, none of y'all is going to get it at the beginning. And that's okay. It's okay. It's taken me years to even improve. But once I was aware of it, it's taken me years to improve. So awareness is a great start. But understand the end goal is to catch it in real time. What's typically going to happen is now that you know, you're going to catch it
Postmortem.
4 hours later or the next day. And you're going to be sitting on the couch like, oh shit, I fucked that up. Then as you continue to progress, it's going to go from 24 hours to 4 hours and 24 hours to an hour, 24 hours to right after, 24 hours to in the moment. You're going to start wrong and then you're going to stop and then go back and start over with the right thing to say. Then it's going to go to before you open your motherfucking mouth, you're going to say the thing that's rational. But that takes a while. It takes a while. So just go, once you go understand it, you go after it. It's not about perfection. It's about progression, growth.
It reminds me of Nana models this really well. Is he would say, hey, I need a minute. And because you tell something would, get under his skin. And I'm a hothead, so I just would be responsive. And I would like, oh, so you don't want to battle? He'd be like, I need a minute. And he'll go and he'll come back and he'll be like, let me ask you a question.
Right.
And it would always be so disarming. And after a while, I was like, I wonder why he does this. And It was just really helpful to see somebody model that behavior. And then even to have the ability to be like, you're crazy and I have enough vested in you to sit through this process with you from a distance. And this is why I do this or why I don't do this. And over a 10-year period, I've been able to grow so much from somebody sitting in that corner with me and being like, I'm out, you tripping, call me when you want to talk. And then coming back and doing that has just been helpful because oftentimes when we're in a space where we want to grow, we don't have people that will sit through our tantrums during that process of growth. And so it's just such a blessing to have this circle because you got people that'll sit through your tantrums or watch close enough where they can get the story and then give you feedback later if you're open to hearing it. So
absolutely. Josh?
Yeah. Dragging on her coattails, kind of wanted to follow that up. Outside of, Nana and some of your personal friends, what structures have you created that kind of give you feedback on yourself that you might not be getting real time from your own mind?
Great question. And I think that's 2 slides down. So we're going to go to it.
Not 2 doors down, 2 sides down.
2 slides down. Not
cool.
The 2 doors down is the cupcake room. You
it's
can
the
go
poodle
there
class.
I mean, I like that one too,
That's where you was break.
I know you do. I know you do. All right. Next slide.
The addiction to being right. Once your brain learns that rationalizing feels better than accountability, it becomes addictive.
Okay, so understand this is all connected to each other. Each one of these are connected tissue to each other. So from the very first slide to this slide, it's all connected and all related to each other. Keep going.
Each excuse releases a small dopamine hit, the temporary relief from shame.
Okay, so if you call me out on something and I'm listening to respond back to you and not listening to absorb what you're saying or to listen, then what's happening is you're caught up in this addiction based on all the previous slides. It's still all related to the I got jumped effect. So if you say if I got a quick comeback, but you didn't do that, but it's related to the first slide, but now we're caught up in the addiction of being right. Keep going.
Over time, this addiction makes people defend their delusions rather than pursue truth.
Okay. This is nasty. And this is why. If somebody calls you out or brings something to your attention, let's base this on rationalization alone. Somebody calls something to your attention, points something out. What's the worst that can happen?
You learn something.
You learn something. What else?
They're right.
Anybody else? Grab the mic. You learn something?
I was going to say maybe some brief embarrassment.
Brief embarrassment? Brief embarrassment. What else? Just those two things?
You grow.
Maybe
You grow?
covers a blind spot.
Uncovers a blind spot? You grow? Uncovers a blind spot? Get your feelings hurt? So relate to embarrassment?
Nana says shame.
I was trying to help her out. She don't. I ain't helping you no more.
Shame? Okay. What is all that? What happens with that? Does a year come off your life? So if the worst thing that can happen when somebody calls you out is that 3 out of the 5 things that was mentioned were positive, you learn something, you grow, you get better, a little bit of embarrassment, a little bit of shame, but 3 out of 5 is positive, then why does it hurt so much when somebody call you out? It's because think about why it hurts so much. If it's so positive, why does it hurt so much? That is because there is internal psychology that goes back thousands, hundreds of thousands of years in our DNA that makes us quick to respond because our brains have to protect us. Our brain is not the most intelligent thing. It survives the best. It's the best survivor. It's not the most intelligent. Remember that. Our brain is the best survivor. It's not the most intelligent. So once you understand that, you can look at your brain like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. I appreciate that. But this 2025, I'm trying to do this. I'm not trying to protect myself from a wild lion that's coming from the back of the bushes. I'm in a business meeting. See what I'm saying? Like, you have to understand. So a lot of times we think our brain is the most supreme thing, and whatever our brain says goes. Why'd you kill that man? A voice in my head told me. Well, why didn't you tell that voice to shut the fuck up? Why didn't you say that's a stupid ass thing to do?
The voices.
You see what I'm saying? So our addiction, over time, we've learned to diffuse arguments or pressure or being made fun of or being corrected. We've learned the art of being defensive and being right over the course of our life, especially if you grew up with siblings. You mastered the art of debate and fighting and pawning and negotiating, because it doesn't matter about being right. What matters is getting them to leave you alone and shut up or not tell or do or basic shit like that. But we use those same tactics in life now. So addiction to being right is a serious addiction. Let's keep reading.
That's the beginning of mediocrity.
So that is why, as a culture, we're stuck in mediocrity. Because we've rationalized our way to mediocrity.
This slide reminds me of the trade-offs, because when you ask the question of what do you lose, it made me reference a conversation I had with Nana about you can ask the same flip question of, and what do you gain, right? Because there's a trade-off for everything. So let's say somebody shows you a blind spot about something you did wrong. You have an opportunity to learn. You have an area that's been brought to your attention you might not have been aware of, and you have the chance to change it going forward. So it's like, but we tend to focus on sunk cost or like lost opportunity or just like being wrong instead of thinking about all of the things that we do have to gain. Like what are the trade-offs or the bonus that you're going to get from taking it in, not being defensive, not talking, like expanding your network, being able to have feedback loops expand. Like these are all the things that we gain, but we don't see it that way. We just see it as, I can't lose this moment. So this particular fight is going to lose like the battle, the war.
Yeah. So I'm not, maybe you've not done this, but have you ever heard somebody do this where you said, hey man, you got a stain on your shirt. Well, what about the stain on your shirt? Bruh, I just said you got stain. Well, you got stains on your shoes.
Okay, buddy.
Does that negate the fact that you still got a stain on your shirt?
Nope.
I'm trying to help your dusty, dirty ass. Right?
I love Court.
I didn't ask, like, that's what we do though. That's what we do. We're quick. We're so quick on the draw of being right and being defensive that now a lot of times you'll walk through the world alone because you've pushed everybody away. All the people that could help you, couldn't help you, wanted to help you, but you've shot them down so much that you walk through and now you're thinking, why am I so lonely? And why when I'm down and out or I need help, nobody comes for me, nobody helps me, nobody supports me? Why do I feel alone in this world, this big ass giant world? Why do I feel alone? You did that. You pushed them away one person at a time. And if you push one person away in a crowd full of people, shit, they took notes. Okay, well then shit, I'm not gonna say nothing. Took notes. You did that. You can undo that. That's the good part. You can also undo it. But you gotta know. Next slide.
The player levels, behavioral lenses. Human performance can be divided into behavioral categories, not job titles.
Okay, so we're also tying this to the A, B, and C players that we talked about last week. So this is still tied to this is all weaved into the same web going down all the way down to where we are now, and we're gonna keep going. So what we talked about last week, this is how this is interconnected.
A player, behavioral pattern, self-aware, accountable, reflective.
Okay.
Typical response to I got jumped moment. What did I miss? What needs to change?
Okay. What did I miss? What needs to change? An A player, if they got their ass whooped, they know that's on me. That's the difference. That's on me. An A player, even if you did get jumped, that's on me. I should have known coming down there that it was going to be sketchy like that. I knew I couldn't trust them. I should have been more prepared. It's on me. It's all on me. What can I do better next time? What needs to change next time? Next time, this is what's going to happen. Keep going.
B player, behavioral pattern, teachable, consistent, guided by structure.
A good B player will listen and learn and can be guided. They may not come up with that on their own, but if they're surrounded in the right environment by A players, then they'll be guided and teachable to where they'll be able to get there and improve and get better.
Typical response to I got jumped. That hurt, but I'll learn from it.
There's emotional response. But at the end of their emotional response, they default at the learning. And somebody asked, I think it was Sydney last week on YouTube, can somebody have traits from all three? Absolutely. You can have A player traits over here, B player traits over here, and C player traits over here. Absolutely. It's not a linear perfect box. It's just a matter of what are you working on to scoot your way over. Next one.
C player. Behavioral pattern. Ego-driven, defensive, externally focused. Typical response to I got jumped. They jumped me.
Those are typical C players. They jumped me. Nope, it was one-on-one. I watched it. No, it couldn't have been. You must have turned. Nope, you got your ass booked by one person. No, I don't believe nothing you say. Cognitive dissonance kicks in, and once you believe it, it's nothing anybody can tell you to change your mind. Did you read the bottom one? Let's read the last.
Being an A player is a behavioral choice, not a talent level.
So remember that. The A, B, C player that we're talking about is behavioral choices. Behavioral, psychological. So entrepreneurially, we're always working on ourselves and trying to work our way to become A players in this game. Why? Because the probability of our success goes up. The more we take radical responsibility, the more we lead, the more we're self-aware, the more we're more accountable, the more we're reflective. So the A, B, and C player, most of that was for you, for me, for us. Where are we? And now you can also have a lens of when you look at who to bring on your team, who to hire, who to partner with, who to work with, who to fall in love with, who to be friends with. Now you can see things from that perspective.
Can I say something real quick? You know, it's so funny. This is kind of like looking at these as characters. You know, C can't see A. Mm-hmm. C thinks A is a sellout. Mm-hmm. C thinks A is part of the Illuminati or signed up for something because they can't translate that. They literally can't. A and C don't hang out very long together at all.
It's an industry plant. It's an alien. He gay.
That's what happens.
Like, I gotta be some. That's that version of I got jumped. It's the same thing. It's a hell of a good point. It's the same thing. You must have sold out. You must have sold your soul to the devil. It's the same thing as saying I got jumped. Ain't that crazy?
It's common.
Wow, shut up, Josh.
It's okay to be gay, Josh. It's okay. We accept you and love you for exactly who you are.
We have.
I was talking about the devil.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask a question? So in the I finally got a chance to listen to the podcast with the two women. And at the end of the podcast, when she was like talking about recapping about, for context, I'm talking about the podcast that was Growth Work a few weeks ago with the women that were talking about how her business started, scaled, crashed. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting is that she was like, you know, depending upon the type of business that you build, what type of model, like if it's built to be scaled to sell, if it's built to be a family generational businesses, if it's built, you know, as a pet, whatever, like for like your ego to like have something physical. But she was saying that oftentimes, especially in Black communities, when you build a business, people call you a sellout when you sell it. But like some businesses are intended to be built to scale and sell. Can we talk about like the mindset that we have around businesses? Because I thought the podcast was really interesting how they talked about what it looks like from like start to the different variations of what you need in your mentorship and the way you need to frame your business. I even loved how she talked about the idea of like money and how she had to reposition her thought process on money when it came to her cultural background of never wanting to ask for money and then needing to be fund ready and then understanding like how accepting principal would change the dynamic. But I just feel like it's just money is so taboo, even though we all make it, even though we all have businesses, but we don't talk about it. Like in a real sense, we talk about it in like a pop my collar, I got this, I'm doing big things, but we don't talk about like the nuts and bolts of it. And I just think that that's insanity that we're in a circle where we all have businesses and we're all doing transactions and most people are delusional about their finances.
Absolutely. Now, was that a question?
I think I would love to tear that apart because there's a lot of layers there.
Okay.
The question, it was almost like you just asked, how did the universe get started and how did we get here?
Right.
Because even talking about money, I just addressed the tail end of your point. It's more or less, money is more or less psychological. So we talk about money here, whether you know it or not. And I will show you, I can draw those direct connections. And just how we made family private when some of it should be public. We made money so private that it's preventing open dialogue that can allow us to develop our growth. It's almost like, and money's tied to some of the things Corey's talking about tonight. Remember the press secretary? Mm-hmm. Your brain is literally changing your relationship to your money to make you feel a certain kind of way. So I think this conversation requires, I can teach a whole class on that just one question you asked. So,
yeah, absolutely. And some of that answer ties back to what Nana just mentioned earlier is C players have stories, certain stories and dialogue and delusions that A players don't. So once C players create a cognitive dissonance again on the reasons why they purchase your product, most of it's tied to their personal relationship with you. So then anything you do, you sell. I mean, if a 7 or 8 year old boy or girl, 18-year-old brother or sister leaves the house, is the 7-year-old happy for him or sad? They don't know that you're about to embark on life, and you ain't supposed to stay in the house for your whole life. But they don't want you to go, so they think you a sellout for leaving, because that's C player thinking. So it goes back to what he mentioned. You have to understand the layers of people and the layers of thinking. The majority, the masses, are C players.
100%.
The majority, the masses. So the 80% of our population are C players. So if you want to market, you're marketing to C player thinking. That's why we say you sell this shit, you don't smoke it. Because if you getting high off this shit, you're saying you're a C player. You see what I'm saying? All right. Next slide.
System design for human reality. From an organizational psychological standpoint, systems should be designed so that C players can function, simplicity, clarity, accountability.
Okay, hold on. So as we said, 80% of our world is C players. If you're trying to build a business to scale, then your system should be designed for what?
C players.
Keep going.
B players can grow, training, mentorship, feedback loops.
So within that system, if you see B players, and this is how corporations, this is how they filter through organizations to find A and B players. The only way they can filter through A and B players is grades on colleges and the type of college you went to. That's what the system used to be, is that if you went to an Ivy League school, you went to Cornell, you went to Berkeley, you went to MIT, and you graduated with a 3.8 or 4.0, it correlated to most, if not all, companies around the world 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that I'm about to hire an A player. Because in order for you to get in that school, you had to be an A kid. And then if you maintain throughout college years partying and being a kid and being stupid and you still maintain a 4.0, you are an A player. So that's how they filtered. Some companies filtered, like the military would filter through IQ test. It's designed for C players. If you 18, you can walk. Anybody can join. Come on in. We'll give you a gun, make you figure it out. But you do gotta have an IQ test. And if you happen to score high on that IQ test, they say, "Oh no, you come here. We're gonna put you in a higher position, intelligence position, or you're gonna be in recognizance, or you're gonna be a spy because your intelligence is higher." Or if you went to a military college, then you're coming in, you're not going to be a cadet or a private. You're going to come in as a sergeant or something higher because you went to a military college. So that's how they're filtering through A, B, and C through education. So let's keep going.
A players can lead autonomy, innovation, ownership.
So as you building your systems, you're also keeping your eye on A players. Autonomy. Shit, I just asked her to get that thing done and she did it, but she also created a plan for next time and then did stuff that I didn't even ask her to do. That's dope. Noted. That's some A player shit. Everybody in the office has been complaining about this one thing for the last 2 years, and this girl came in, saw it, and created a new strategy around it and a fix, and now she wrote it and put it on my desk. Wow, that's A player shit. Noted. So people are like, man, I've been here for a long time. I can't become I ain't been on, nobody reported me to become manager. I ain't on no manager radar. No, because you've been doing B and C player shit this whole time. A players stand out. A players do A player shit. Ownership. Hey, have you done? Yeah, I already did it. I did it already. What? Okay, noted. So when it comes time to pull people up into management or leadership positions, they already put themselves in that management position already by their actions a long time ago. That's why early on when I was watching these debates about marriage and women and men and like, well, if you giving me girlfriend, I'm the girlfriend, well, you only gonna get girlfriend privileges. You're asking me to do wife shit. So you're saying you want to stay a girlfriend then?
You understand me?
How do I know you even capable of doing wife shit? Because if it's in you, it's in you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the next slide. I know I'm gonna catch some heat for that.
That
Fuck it. I don't give a
You
fuck.
didn't finish that slide.
Bottom.
Oh, let's keep going.
Yeah. Look, guns was coming out, baby. I don't give a... Oh, my bad.
All right.
If your system only works when everyone is elite, it's fragile. Strong culture builds systems that support growth across levels, not dependency on outliers.
So if that also goes back to being right and being smart. So if you're building systems that are so complex that only A players can manage it, your system's fragile as hell. You're one situation away, one issue away from a collapsing system. You got to create systems that if something leaves, you can slide something in. It takes some time to train, but you have to create systems that are built for C players. And then your B players are on the fast track to become leaders. And your A players are the ones managing the system. That's why you have hella hood dudes working at Tesla.
Lot.
You just got out. I got a partner right now, just got out and got hired on at Tesla. And how? Because they're intelligent enough to build the systems so that C players can run them. Don't go nowhere. Just stay right here. And when it comes in, you go like this, you put this on top of it, and you move it over. That's all you do. If you want to wild out, not show up to work, none of that shit, all right, bye, you fired. We'll put another person in this chair. The system itself could be extremely complex, above the realm of the players that are in it. But once you're in it, very simple. It's simple enough that a C player can do it. A third grader, a fifth grader could do it. That's how you build your systems. So you do all the complex work around building a simple system, not creating a complex system. There was a book we read. Oh, man, a dope-ass book we read. And in that book, you probably remember it because you don't want to tell everybody to read it. And they were talking about at a certain time in the war, they had built these airplanes. And pilots were you had to pass high IQ tests to fly these planes. And the pilots kept crashing them. It's because the cockpit was just too complex. Mm-hmm. So they were pulling their parachute when they should have just been going forward. And so they were like, well, why don't you redesign the cockpit to make it more simple? And he said, no, because y'all smart enough, you should know this. Wow. You're highly skilled people, you should know this. So the engineers finally said, I'm not listening to you. And like they made a big red button around one that says parachute and a big bold color around the one that says go. And all of the errors dropped. That's because your focus should be always simplifying your systems, not making them more complex.
Can I add just one point, because this is really so I think a lot of people who got into A, B, and C workers, as you were speaking, have flashbacks of them being A, B, or C. This is an entrepreneur class. We're not training employees, right? So I think there's a need to reposition yourself to really understand what you've been teaching. And I think one thing here's a secret. When you're running your company, I think that the last point says, if your company depends on outliers, you have a fragile company. So you depend on A's and B's to run your company, trash. Y'all might think, oh, that's easy said. But when you start hiring, watch how you look for A's and B's. And then you look at the C's that's working for you, like, oh, they're the reason I'm destroying my company. Here's the distortion. If you're an entrepreneur and you're talking about these employees every day, you're not taking radical responsibility for your business. Radical responsibility is saying it's not about these individual employees who are all C's. It's you have weak systems. Mm-hmm. Now, you have an employee that can't follow the system, they gotta go. But a lot of times we're focusing on, oh man, Jaheed messed up, Fern didn't do what I asked, Shakina's acting a fool. No, you got a raggedy system. And so if you stop the gossiping tone of bad employees and say, why are they doing this? What can I design better to change their production? And their collaboration looks like an A output to the customer.
Absolutely. And the key tone is you have a C system. You built your system around C players, but your outputs are always A. Your outputs are always A. What kind of sorcery is that? What kind of sorcery is that?
Leverage.
That's sorcery, right? Because if you build a system around C players and you grow and you nurture your B players and you have your A players leading, but the majority of your company, you built your systems around C players, but your output is A. That means you have a complex system that has a great output, but you simplified it. So this is big. This is big. The NBA is ran by C players. Straight up. The NBA is ran by C players. The stock market was built from C players.
It's true.
The stock market that we think is so intimidating was built by C players, ex-hustlers, ex-gangsters. Rap music, hip hop, the biggest genre in our time, was built by C players. People who had no education, from the hood, from the dirt, from the trenches. The business side of that, the majority of the people, C players. So as entrepreneurs, we get above it. We get meta over it. So I enjoy, like, that's why if you're an entrepreneur and somebody's like, well, you getting in that business? Man, it's diluted. You getting in the clothing game? Everybody got a clothing line. You a photographer? Everybody pick up a camera. Now you could do this. Not for A players. A players, you can walk damn near in any industry. Find the weaknesses, find the gaps. You're surrounded by C players. You gonna easily find holes. Find holes in the game. Where can I serve the market that's not being served? Because C players are inherently lazy. They're inherently blaming. So somebody complaining about some service around here. Who's complaining the most? What are they complaining the most about? C players are lazy as fuck. They don't want to do all that work. Once you learn this you'll never go fucking broke. If I was to say, man, fuck this shit. The meteor that hit Portsmouth November 26, 2024, if that took me out completely, I'd go buy me a truck. Start hauling. Murder all y'all hauling companies. All you garbage truck dumping hauling companies, I'll murder that shit. Have an app online. You can just put the weight, take a picture of your hauling. Next thing you know, it's gone. And then the transaction happened online. And you didn't have to see me. Because once you learn these strategies and you understand the difference, you can go anywhere. Then over time at scale, you hire C players. Hey, I pay you half of what it makes, what they're paying me to go do this. Y'all don't fucking hear me, man.
This is powerful. My mentor, who taught me business, who watched him build a multi-million-dollar business in development, half his employees were crackheads. I'm not even lying. They would stay at the house late at night and sleep in these houses so they wouldn't steal the copper, and get up that morning and work and get paid and outperformed. But they were all C players. And then he had a few A players to make sure everything was done to accuracy and to standards. But he made millions. A black man in West Oakland made millions hiring crackheads. I don't. Once y'all see how this game works, what he's talking about here, but the systems he had in place, because I even said, I remember showing him one day, you know how crackheads got that smell. And I was like, hey man, these dudes do crack. And he's like, hey, leave my employees alone. Hey, when you saw the way they was performing, hey man, I started developing empathy for them cats. Go ahead.
Right. Which one of us can start a company and walk out and hire somebody from the Ivy League and pay them $150, $200K a year?
No.
And they still may not be an A player, because as we learned in that slide behind us, if you go back one slide, the bottom, what does that say? The very bottom.
Being an A player is a behavioral choice, not a talent level.
So there's no guarantee. I used to work in Silicon Valley, and we used to hire PhDs from MIT. And man, you talking about vocabulary and being articulate and sounding intelligent. You're like, damn, like there's people out here like this. And yes, there were a lot that were highly intelligent and some that were fucking C players. You know, I used to get high off that shit. I get a phone call and I see it. Oh, it's MIT PhDs. Hello? Hey, Court, can you help me? Can I help you? You need my help? This hood dude from East Oakland with no degree, you need my help? Because in our mind, you guys are supposed to be the smartest. But what happened is you a C player and you figured out how to work the system in school. So there's no guarantee that you got it. There's no guarantee. Next slide.
The rewiring protocol.
Oh, who do I have here? The privilege of okay.
Behavioral rewiring happens when you catch the distortion. Notice when your ego edits the story.
Okay. So right now we're at the rewiring protocol. How do we get this shit out our system? How do we fix it? How do we install the switch in our system so that now we can start recognizing these behaviors and nip them in the bud and get control of them? Keep going.
Name the truth. Describe what actually happened without emotion.
Okay. Name the truth. What happened? What happened? Can you describe it? Okay, now that I think about it, I didn't get jumped. I don't remember seeing nobody. Do you remember seeing anybody else? No, I just felt this pain in the back of my head. So but you didn't see anybody. No, I actually didn't see. Damn, I didn't get jumped. Okay, keep going.
Build a new system. Change habits, feedback, or structure so the same failure is less likely to repeat.
So build a new system, meaning you got to change your habits. What that means is if there's trouble down this street, instead of saying, I'm going to be strong walking down the street, go down another street. Start walking down a different street. Feedback and structure. So build a system within yourself so the same issues don't happen again. And we're going to talk in detail about that. Keep going.
Every time you override your brain's defensive reflex, you build psychological resilience.
So again, it's a muscle. This is a muscle that most of us have never built. So your muscle's going to be weak. It's going to be weak. So this takes practice over time. Like I said, the very first time, it may not hit you to the next day. Then you walk yourself through this process. What happened? What happened? And then you do it, and hopefully over time, your brain will start getting stronger and stronger, and you'll shorten the time between events to where now you're matching it up at the occurrence, at the time of the occurrence. Oh, I see where you're trying to get me. Now, there's also a time where the emotion comes up in you, and you know it's about to be bad. So what's the best thing to do? Hey, let me hit you right back. Mm-hmm. Hey, give me 5 minutes. If your deep breathing don't work, and you still on fire, hey, I'm going to call you right back, all right? I learned that. I learned that from him 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I learned that. Hey, I'm going to hit you right back. And I'll call somebody else. This motherfucker did. I just need to get it out. Then I'm like, hey, so, okay. Let me ask you a question. Or that's like, this isn't a science. You're not getting a grade. It's growth. Next slide.
Example of overrides. External truth checks. Tool. Accountability mirrors. Keep people or systems around you that expose blind spots.
Okay, this is a big one. Keep people around you that will keep it real with you. If you my friend and you don't call me out on some shit, you're not my friend. You can't keep it real with me. You're not my friend. A weak person will say, yeah, you did get jumped. You got jumped. Just because they want to be your friend. I saw it. Yeah, you did. That wasn't fair. A weak person will do that because they want to be your friend. That's the same person that'll let you go out looking crazy with that outfit. Your breath stank. You got you smell. Your outfit don't match. You got hella makeup on. How do our outfit look? First time I told that to my girl, she started crying. And now she like thanks me for it. Hey, I could have been nicer, but I was like, fuck, you look like a mime. Like you got your face don't match your neck.
Wow. That's some new shit. That's some new shit right there.
She was hella mad at me for 2 days. And I'm like, damn, I was trying to keep it light, like joking around. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. But now she like respects it. Cause I know I ain't gonna, if I love you, man, come on. Like I got your back more than anybody on this planet. So I'm gonna have your back. I'm gonna represent the best version of you. I'm gonna hold up the best version of you, and I will be doing you a disservice if I wasn't honest with you. If you guys come and talk to me about your business, and I'll be like, yeah, that's a dope idea. That's like saying, I saw you get jumped. Versus, that ain't it. You didn't get jumped. That's a bad idea. It's a bad business idea. You getting your ass whooped one-on-one, no help. So if I love you, I'm going to give you the real. So stop doing that to other people. You don't have to jump into their opinion box and offer your opinion about shit. But if somebody asks you, hey, you want my opinion? That is time to keep to give them reality, to be rational with them, not rationalize with them. Give them honesty. So over time, they're going to love you and respect you for that. And your words going to mean something. Because the minute somebody comes to you for advice and you lie to them because you want to be nice, but later on that thing damages them, they're going to lose respect for you. Wait a minute. You told me that it was good. Now I lost respect for you. Your word don't mean as much. But some of us are saying, I love you so much, I'm willing to risk short-term pain to tell you the truth. I'm willing to risk short-term pain to be honest with you for your long-term gain. I'm willing to risk it. Fuck it. You want to talk to me for 2 days, then I'll take that. But it's going to benefit you in the long run. Watch. And that's where I gain my joy from. Next slide. Oh, are we? Oh,
Same slide.
same slide.
You're right. Oh. A true accountability partner doesn't comfort you. They
Come on.
calibrate
bud.
you.
They calibrate. We're here to calibrate each other. We're here to calibrate each other. That's what we're here for. You know what calibration means? It means,
Small tweaks.
see what I'm saying? Small tweaks. Now, it's different than having an opinion, right? Everybody has their preferences of certain things that they like. So I'm not going to push my preference on another person. But reality, absolute, objective reality is objective reality. Or asking someone's opinion who's part of a demographic, that's asking a question.
Can you tell them why C player can't use none of these tools?
Because C players are steeped in cognitive dissonance. They're seeped in it so much that they're blinded by it. You remember the movie The Matrix?
Yep.
Everybody loves The Matrix. And there was the objective reality, which was that dusty ass ship, and everybody was in clothes that looked like this and like your outfit. And it's the truth though, right?
That was just a bad connection, bro. Like your outfit, old dusty ass out.
like
Oh damn. Okay.
no, I mean, she knows what I mean.
Yeah, but no, just
Like-
the
like-
connection. Hey,
like
bro, they
like
just-
Kanye West built a whole clothing empire based on outfits from the Matrix. Yeah, all neutral gray tones.
Yeah,
dusty.
Yeah. go ahead.
So, but the point is, we sat back and watched two realities: a Matrix reality and like, oh, this beautiful reality, but you knew it was fake. C players live in the Matrix.
And they don't want to be unplugged.
And if you unplug them and they have to see the dusty reality that they live in, it's unbearable. It's unbearable for some. So I'd rather, what we do was like, I know this steak ain't real, but it tastes so good. I'll keep that steak. Versus entrepreneurs and people who are building say, this is short term. This dusty ass situation, short term. And to get to where we want to go, we have to face the reality of this short term situation. And I'm willing to be uncomfortable until we get there. That's it. Next slide, or keep going.
System ideas, team film review, post-project debrief, performance journaling shared with mentor. Why it works. External reflection triggers social accountability and disrupts ego bias. You can't lie to yourself when truth is reflected clearly back at you.
So again, this thing starts working for you when you start having postmortems about every situation that triggered you. Postmortems about situations that triggered you. Now you're in the game of rewinding the tape and playing back what just happened. Shit, I fucked that up. Man, hey, did you see what happened? What happened? Damn, that's what you saw? Shit, that's not what I saw. Now you're starting to see. Oh, I'm in the Matrix. I need to start seeing moving over to what you seeing. It's like a bad America's Got Talent, where person is standing there singing and they sound terrible, and the judge is like, "That's bad. No, you're bad. That's not good. No, you're not good. You're gonna see me at the top one day." Like, yo.
Seen that 1,000 times.
Next, keep going.
Didn't I read that?
Next slide. Oh, next slide.
Emotional exposure training. Tool, incremental discomfort. Schedule small doses of honest feedback and controlled failure. Let yourself feel the sting, but stay present.
So yeah, this is a dope one. A lot of people trying to be too cool. Some of y'all trying to be too cool. Nobody want to look like you got egg on your face. Nobody want to look like a failure. Nobody look like you messed up. Everybody want to look like they got perfect record.
Not me.
When in actuality, entrepreneurship is fueled with failure.
Fail forward as fast as you can.
It's tons of failure. It's what it is. You're just ready, fire, aiming. I've been here, been there. I've been up. crash, burn, back. Hey, y'all, I'm back. Back again. Oh, damn, you ain't quit. Nope. Just keep going, trying to figure it out and fine tuning as I'm going so that we could get better. I don't give a fuck about what I look like to y'all. Think about it. If 80% of the people in the world is C players, then what the fuck do I care what C players think in the first place? Keep going forward. Some of y'all won't look too cool. Some of y'all got companies that you are too afraid to build because it's not perfect yet. You're supposed to be putting yourself out there and you're not because you're not perfect enough yet. You're supposed to be doing these things and you haven't because you're not perfect. It's not perfect yet. It's not. You're going to do that into the grave. And your time is going to be up. Your window's going to be gone. And the momentum of what could have happened is gone. You waited too long.
I have a question. So, they talk about like, there's opportunities on your business journey where you have a moment, right? So like timing aligns, opportunity aligns, money, dollars align. They referenced it in that podcast. And I was thinking about how you can get caught in between. Like the person that lost the business, she was like passively being a little defensive. Like she was trying to be really open and honest. And because I'm a defensive person, I could see the defensiveness because that's my nature and I'm working on it. But like when the lady that was interviewing her was asking like, oh, well, could you see where this could be ego driven, or could you see where you made compromised decisions or whatnot? And she was like, we were ready. We were doing all these things, which like, I don't know the back end of the books, but it made me think about like, when you have opportunities that present themselves to grow your business, like I got approached for people to invest in my business last year. And I know that would have been a horrible idea to take on money at that time because my books weren't right. I didn't know enough about my business to be able to let outside money in because it would have done this, because I didn't have enough ownership to let outside people come in. And it makes me think about, like in this class, I feel constantly challenged to grow all the time. So I'm trying to work on my personal growth. But then I'm also correlating that to like, okay, but what does that mean for my business? And is growth 10 gyms, or is growth personal development, better culture, like a smarter base system that I grow off of? And I just think about like how I have so many friends that have businesses and their perception of growth varies based on locations or quantities or number of products. But there's a lot of the foundations that are missing. Like, how do you approach growing or applying these things to so many things that have tangents or variables?
This world has tangents or variables. There's no straight line anywhere. That's what makes the game so fun. Mm-hmm. There's a million ways to fail and a million ways to win. It's literally endless combinations of ways to do things. Endless.
Hey, and also too, I'm gonna answer that question in my next class, my session. So
good. All right.
I'm gonna literally answer all those details.
Yeah, because there's a lot. That's a lot to unpack. So, that's the. Yeah, that's the. He'll take that one.
Thank you.
All right, we good? I know I didn't even give a chance to nobody to ask really lots of questions, but I had to get a lot of this out. So, all right.
Y'all have some questions, ask them. If you have any questions before we switch. Yo, I'm going to steal some of his material because there's a lot there. Let me get my stuff ready. Thank you. Okay. All right. I'm going to jump right into my class. Those of you who are online, you have a chance to donate. Like I said, I'm sending this constant reminder next year will be a paid course. But it's going to be we're going to do a lot more work and exercises in class. Because lectures are cool, but I want us to challenge our own personal distortions. And so if we do exercises, we get a chance to see how we're interpreting these class sessions. Let's jump into the first slide. I want to jump into this first slide. This is a dope heuristic, and I need you guys to keep this top of mind. Talking negative makes you sound smart. Talking negative makes you sound smart. A lot of you guys are fooled by people who talk negative all the time. You know what's wrong with society? You know what's wrong with women, men, race, gender, the air, the oxygen, life, capitalism, America. Talking negative makes you sound smart. Do realize that your perception is being distorted. This is a simple heuristics. Now, go back to a few slides. I'm going to show you how Corey just taught the same thing. Go to with us A, B, and C. C player. Guess who? That's the person who talks negative all the time and seems very, very smart. One of the ways you know a C player is in a room is they're the person that will stop the room and tell you what's wrong with the world, whether it's race. Like, for example, I came from the pro-black movement. A lot of C players tell you what's wrong with white men, what's wrong with American history, American culture. It's not saying they're not wrong, but often when you turn to them and say, well, what's the answer, Sway? They didn't have the answer for you. And it's because talking negative, often we start thinking, oh, that person's really deep. Just know that's something that happens. And that's part of the way your brain works, because your brain wants to know where are all the risk at. And so a person who talks negative, your brain just locks in. Like you said, there might be something around that tree. And so when people talk negative, they will seem intelligent. Understand, until you can see an offensive display of their talk, you cannot rate that. You cannot measure their intelligence. And often, if somebody's always running what's wrong with something, or when they get together, they want to talk about what's wrong with culture, race, gender, men, women, capitalism, rich, poor. If that person runs those scripts all the time, know that you are in front of somebody who's not that intelligent. So just know, pay attention to our community. A lot of people that we think are intelligent, they lead with negative dialogue, but they look at what they built. They built nothing. They have nothing to show for it. They can get a whole room to go quiet, and not a pin, especially in the black community, a pin will drop you, a drop. And if you pay attention, they're running these negative scripts. But when it comes down, if you just watch their life and watch it, so one of the first signs I know somebody is an underperformer or is a C player is somebody who can articulate what's wrong with the world so well. That's my first sign I know you're a C player, because that's how your brain looks at that's how you're kind of showing up to the world. You're the person that's ego-driven, you're defensive, you're externally focused. Look at what's wrong with all these things, and what you miss in that story, it's yourself. So heuristic, go back to my first slide. Basic heuristic. Go back. Talking negative makes you sound smart. So a lot of times when you walk into a room and somebody's being articulating negative arguments about anything in society, I don't care what it is. Often, there's things I disagree with. Society, groups, people, individuals. That's not my focus, because I'm a builder. I'm creating something. And that doesn't mean I don't feel negative. I'm not removing negative as a bad thing. But if I'm leading all the time with negative dialogue, like a lot of depressed people are masters of talking about what's wrong with the world. Next slide. So this is also tied to course. That's why I was like, okay, course, you want to just teach my class? So let me say this another thing. You know, I've discovered why a lot of people get mad when they receive feedback. It's because they only have one solution. And the brain says when you have one solution, you put everything in. If you come to me and say, hey, Don, I have this business, and you have optionality working in place. So you have this choice, that choice, this choice. You say, now give me some feedback. It's welcome, because you're already realizing it could be more of these choices, or it might be another choice you need to add to your 4 choices, 2 choices, 3 choices. Usually when people get mad from receiving feedback, it's because they only have one way. Just one way. A lot of times when somebody comes to talk to you about something, you ever been in a situation where somebody says something to you, and then you raise your voice to kind of like defeat them. But the reason you're raising your voice to defeat them is because you don't own an answer or a response or how to talk to them. So let's say somebody says something to you, and it pisses you. Oh my God! Hold on a second. Hey, those at home.
Hey, Shabisha
Those at
in
home.
the house.
Jesus is a woman, and she just walked in the room. Oh my Lord!
I mean, if you want to come read tonight, man.
Oh
bless
my
us.
God, this is like. Hold on a second. Somebody put a camera on her. Can you just let
come
the
here,
world
Shabisha.
see her?
Come here, Shabisha.
Yeah,
Your
come on.
throne
This
awaits
is.
you.
I'm gonna pause this class for a second because that's family right there. That's the queen that just walked in. Did you see all the gold that just fell from the air? All I can do is smell roses and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna stop. Look here, you better quit it. Jeez, girl, where you going, girl? We gonna need you in front of some cameras or some lights on you. Or look here, them hot. Too bad the camera don't show a full body. Them red boots are fire, y'all. Y'all missing something over there. Shit. Look here. What was I talking about, y'all? Look, the princess, look, the queen have walked up in this room. Look, y'all go home. no, but anyway, that's my sister. I love her more than y'all realize. But anyway. Yeah, okay, there you go. One option. Yeah, there we go. All right, here we go. So a lot of times, like in conflict spaces, we raise our voice as a technique because we don't know how to respond to something that makes us uncomfortable. So I shout, and you shout, I shout. There's two people who don't have strategy. So quite often, a lot of times, your greatest frustration is you just don't know how to respond, or you don't have another answer. So if you only have one answer on how you're gonna run your business, I tell you that answer sucks. I just told you got nothing. And guess what you just feel like? You're destroying me, you're attacking me, and you're hurt. But you're not hurt. I want you to understand, you ain't hurt from the person who gave you feedback. You hurt because you only have one answer. You haven't did your due diligence to develop options and choices in more directions. And so when you sit in front of me and I go, no, that's not gonna work. Oh, you see, Nana, you don't see me. You see, that's your opinion. And and I'm actually offended that you don't think that what I've worked on all week, my one plan, is not a master plan. I'm gonna tell you right now, an entrepreneur who focuses on one plan is a dead entrepreneur. Anybody's an entrepreneur tell you that an entrepreneur is changing plans like you change socks and underwear. You better not go to bed. You not better have it on 2 days in a row. It just doesn't work that way. So I just want to bring this to your attention that next time you get angry with somebody when they give you feedback, or like, oh, it really hurt when he gave me feedback. Ask yourself, how many plans did you have? If you only have one, stop blaming me for the feedback. Stop blaming anybody else for the feedback. Realize, open up your options. This game you in is called optionality. When you're trying to move in certain directions, you need to develop multiple options, not a single option. When you have single option, you also develop emotional fragility. It's good for y'all? Because I'm about to jump into some shit tonight. Next slide. So I want to finish off this real quick because I did promise you guys we're going to finish off. So we talked about time, attention, money last week, right? So I hit you guys with time. That time is something that is an investment. So you use your time to gain what? More time, right? That a lot of times we use time because of our scarcity and where we come from. We often shrink the value of time, and we trade time for resources because resources are so unavailable when you're dealing with scarcity. So what happens is that even when we flip the switch and become entrepreneurs, we still prostitute our time. So we find ourselves busy, exhausted. But if you were to bring in a third party in and just audit your day-to-day activities, you'll realize that you don't lack time. You have a poor relationship to time. So poverty produces a poor relationship to time that even when you start making money, let's say you made your first $1 million, you got to realize that you still have not broken the mindset that came from because that mindset worked when you was poor. I work all day long, and if I can get a meal, I'm good. I can go to bed. Right, I can work all day long at a fast food and cover my portion of my 7 roommates living in 1 bedroom, and I'm good because fast food ain't no money. But the key thing is that you come up with all these ways to trade your time and prostitute your time, and in return, you're able to survive. So now you become an entrepreneur and you start to make some money, and you don't value time. You never value time because time was just used as a cheap resource to get what you really wanted, which was money. Actually, the way you have to think as you start to ascend, flip it. Money is designed to give you more time. Your use of time is designed to increase your time. Time is an investment. There's a return on, what is the return of this time I'm putting on this? And every time you engage and use your time, you have to ask, what is my return? For example, there's situations where I've ordered something on Amazon and they said, hey, take it to UPS and drop it off for your return. Oh, well, that goes in garbage can. Cost my time. This is just making no more sense. Right? And there's been cases where I've gotten angry. I'm going to go down there and return. This is some bullshit. And I'm sitting in line going, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life because I don't see the value of my time. Or my old version of me, this is when I first started teaching this class. How much that gas? I know another gas station down the street. The drive of the gas and my time to go to that other gas station just raised the prices of the gas station I just arrived to. So once you start understanding that, you start shifting time. Once you understand time, you start to understand the importance of boundaries. You start understanding the importance of saying yes and no to certain things. You start understanding all these elements that you didn't even know existed when you flipped that ratio where you put money first and time second. But it should be time, well, it should actually be energy, time, attention, money. We did a revision because we've been saying time, attention, money. You should actually add energy to that. So I want to get into this attention part. And those are the guys who don't need to go back and review the time version. Please go back to last week's on YouTube, and you can watch how we discussed time, attention, money. We didn't get a chance to really get into attention. And so with that being said, we're going to jump into, first we looked at time as money. So if you invested money, what do you expect to receive in return? So we talked about what if you invested time, what do you expect to receive in return? Let's talk about if you invest your attention, what do you receive in return? Let's go.
High versus low ROI attention investments. High ROI attention. Learning deeply.
So this is if you're using your attention correctly. This is what's happening with your life. Go ahead.
Low ROI attention, endless reacting and scrolling.
Okay, keep going.
High, building systems. Low, gossip, comparison, and noise.
So when we talked about that earlier, I said stop gossiping and doing these comparisons and the noise dialogue as opposed to building attention. Building systems. Building systems require attention. Keep going.
High, practicing presence. Low, obsessing over others' validation.
So this is doing comparisons and what am I wearing? And am I as good as this person? Will this person respect me? Am I people pleasing? That's low attention problems. Go ahead.
High, strategic reflection. Low, emotional reactivity and distraction loops.
That means you just stuck in reactionary. You can't. There's no long term or short term planning. You're just responding to the moment and how you feel. Keep going.
High, listening to understand. Low, listening to respond or argue.
So if you look at what Court just taught, right? A lot of stuff that he was trying to get you to move away from his low attention behavior. So when you learn to control your attention, there's these benefits, and all the benefits are on the left side. Read the bottom line.
Attention has compounding power. Where focus goes, energy grows. To people who grow fastest aren't necessarily smarter. They've simply trained their attention to stay invested longer in valuable areas.
So that's a key right there. So what you'll find is that somebody's bad with time, they're also usually bad with their attention span. Like if you're the type of person that you could be talking to somebody and you almost can't stay focused on something for a long period of time, it's going to impact your growth. It's just that simple. And you have to train that. But when you grow up in the hood, that's not the highest valuable thing. Look at kids in poverty areas versus kids in strong family areas. Totally different attention span. I'm sure there's a teacher there's some educators in this space. You go into a school where there's a different value placed on attention, you're going to have a different type of student versus students who are scrolling. Like, for example, I'm watching a lot of poor kids are scrolling addicted. They cannot come off their device. They're literally sitting there in the middle of a crisis. Oh my God, somebody just hit my car. Wait, what did he say? Like literally that bad. And so at that stage, you can almost predict their future based upon their attention prostitution. Go next slide.
Attention as the lens that shapes reality. Attention literally constructs what feels real. If you invest attention in scarcity, your brain filters the world for proof of lack. If you invest in growth, you start spotting possibilities everywhere.
So pause real quick. This is so much fire. If you're not controlling your attention, then somebody's controlling your attention. And if you looked around you and say, what is controlling your attention? That's your perception of the world you exist in. There is no universal perception. Your perception is tied to your attention level. So the reason you have to treat your attention like a valuable asset, because it's predicting the world you live in and the outcome you receive from that world. Remember a long time ago I said, most people are good? That's a reflection of my attention. When I told you I see opportunities everywhere, that's a reflection of my attention. When you meet somebody who's like, this world sucks, I don't see no change, man, I feel like racism and everything, that's their attention problem.
Yeah.
It's not, it is what it is to you. Reality is everything everybody in this room have a different perception of reality. It's all of those things. All those things exist. But if you want them to change, those who are high performers manage their attention towards opportunities, possibilities, building, growth, development, and then they have that return of that particular outcome. Go ahead, Fern.
Yeah, this is dope, because in addition to that, what you're saying is everything that you believe, everything that's real, everything that you can even fathom is solely tied to how you pay attention, how you
100%.
draw that attention. And that is just like, I've never thought of that.
Young YNs, right? Like, don't get me wrong, there's more correlations. There's not a single causation for them. There's a lot of shit going to that toxicity of the culture of our young brothers and sisters. I'm not divorcing them, because I feel like sometimes the YN is a divorce term as opposed to an embracing term. But look at the things they surround themselves with and what shapes their attention. And that's the real world for them. I have family members that live in the hood. They will walk through the hood like it's walking around walking around Lake Mary. It's just, they're comfortable. They don't see it. They can sense all the wrong places to turn because their attention span is designed by that world. Where if I walk in that world, I'm scared to even walk past the stairs because my attention span is like, I don't know what the fuck's happening right now. Like, old lady walk by, what's she doing? What's she doing? Where's she going? Like, I don't know what's happening, right? Because I don't have that type of attention. So it's so important that you design the world that impacts your attention so you can have the world you want. For example, I had a young man in this class who started to become what they call a trick. That's what they use the term trick, right? Meaning he started paying for women to like him, right? Because he was online watching certain women and men have conversations. He thought that's the profile of women. But if he would just walked outside and met women, he'll realize women are diverse. You have powerful women and you have some damaged women. But if you're watching just these women on Instagram saying you have to pay for me and which is a reflection of a very narrow portion of society, that's what they always saw. Then when they went in public, they didn't see the woman over here who's performing.
Shabisha said, "What's his name?"
Y'all cold, boy. Y'all gonna run that boy broke. Look, he'll come in with some old sweats and some socks. Where your shoes at? I had to give them up, bro. So the reality is that a lot of times, even I hear men and women say this all the time. There ain't no good people out here. No, that's your attention span. There's no business opportunities. There's your attention span. You might even say racism is stopping black people from performing. That is your attention span. What you provide attention to, you will see. What you don't provide attention to, you won't see. This often happens when people travel outside the United States. And they see other things and go, wait a minute. They come back home and go, oh, shoot, you know what? I'm thinking about this whole world differently. Because they got a chance to disrupt their attention for a minute and give them a chance to reset their attention.
So this is me going off on another little tangent, but manifestation is literally just how you focus your energy in what you're paying attention to. So you say that you're manifesting, but it's not really the manifestation. It's you focusing that attention on what it is that you want opposed to anything outside of that.
100%. 100%.
Follow-up question to that.
Go ahead.
What is the difference between manifesting and being delusional?
Manifestation, all of it is delusional.
Well, I mean, so like,
Being an entrepreneur is delusional, right? Like, it really is. Like, if you tell somebody, hey, man, you should do this thing that only 5% people make it. If you're black, probably 2 to 3% make it. You want to do this? Hell yeah. Okay, so I'm not delusional? I'm not delusional. Okay, all right. All right, okay. Okay. So I'm just saying, so manifestation is that you got to realize that reality is not set. There's no right. It's variations. Because there's all these variations, your attention directs what variation matters to you. So, for example, I can see certain people and certain places to go and certain things to connect to, and I have certain friends because that's where my attention span have led me, and all the things, all the fruit that come from my attention being focused in this area attracts these rewards, these different rewards. So, I may have a different reality than most people, even though I grew up in East Oakland on 69 I have a different reality because I chose to shift my attention. But for a lot of good people who are their brain works just as well as mine, are victimized by a distorted attention. So your attention, that's why time, attention, money, and if your attention is wrong, then your time is fucked. Because the most valuable asset of all this conversation, all this stuff we're talking about is time. If you got rich and if I say I'm gonna give you $1 billion right now, but you're gonna be dead by tomorrow. Like, take the $1 billion, but I gotta kill you. Tomorrow will be your last day. You'll be like, I don't know if that's the equation. But some of us live our life in that exact same rhythm. We're so busy until we're dead.
that's correct.
So time is the most valuable, but why is your life going a certain kind of way? Why is it so distorted? Why? Well, I'm still busy, even though I'm trying to do everything right. Yeah, but I bet you have an attention problem. Keep going.
Attention is a magnet. It pulls more of whatever it's focused on.
You see what I said? The benefits. Whatever you focus on, it pulls that into your life. Go ahead.
For students, this becomes a conversation about cognitive ROI. If your attention was a stock portfolio, how diverse is it? Are you over-invested in drama, fear, or other people's lives? Clock it.
That alone, I know some people that as soon as they come home from work, they just talking about what happened at the job, what happened in this person's life, whatever. Okay, your life is flat. It's dead for a reason. You're over-invested in trash. You got trash stocks. Next slide.
I had a quick question. Can you ever dive so much into growth that you get detached from the community or people you serve? Sometimes I feel like when the community is going through different issues, I'm not feeling it the same because I'm just kind of dialed into growth and I feel detached.
Oh, okay. So let me that's a great question. And I think it's a great thing to talk about. And I usually don't, I try to avoid some of these conversations because sometimes I don't want to have sensitive dialogue with sensitive people. But I just tell you, man, if I had to curate this class to respond to you and all your emotional shit, I can't do shit. Right? So at the end of the day, I got to say to your emotions and a lot of y'all personal lives and a lot of your personal choices, I don't give a fuck. No offense, I don't. Because I'm trying to teach you something, not cater to where you at. Right? If I cater to where you at, it's like imagine going to you join the military and you're going through boot camp and they're like, well, what do you want to do today? If you get your ass up and get ready to run, I got to train you for this new game we about to battle in, right? It's called entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is an increase of friction and normalizing that increase of friction. So I just can't join the group of give a fucks. When you changed, this is a narrative question. A lot of people in the hood have a different narrative. We work on the same problem, but don't expect to share narratives anymore. Once you start becoming a builder, it's the C versus the A. The C's and A's are not going to have the same I know a lot of A's who do more for the black. I know some powerful people who are working on black people issues all the time. I would even argue that Obama worked on a lot of stuff, but the C's couldn't see it. They were looking at, well, he didn't do this thing I thought he should have did. And you don't realize, well, it's a systemic problem way over here that he's doing, okay, I got this amount of years in 4 years, 4 years, because he didn't know it was going to be 8 years. I got 4 years. I have this kind of impact. I'm going to invest and make it a hit here, which I think is going to have a trickle down effect and have this kind of impact there, right? And especially when you're changing people, it's a long play versus a short play. The community don't hear that. The community hears, I need money right now. I talked to my mother-in-law and I was like, yo, so if black people tomorrow was free, do you think we know what freedom is?
Nope.
We don't even respect authority. We don't even have a hierarchy system in our community because freedom requires hierarchy. And if we don't move with hierarchy respect, we don't have law respect, we don't see systems, because once again, that's part of slavery. They condition us because slavery, so we're more of a labor class. So we see the micro things, but we don't see the macro things. I was like, so you just thought for example, let's say you go to the hood right now and you gave everybody $1 million. Would you expect them to come back and be high performers and things change overnight, or the mindset has to change? Right? And so the reality is that it's not. So a lot of times when you're trying to align with the community, realize that once you become a builder, you will, for example, I'm still super pro-black. Everything I do is because of black people. But it doesn't look like that to black people no more. Mm-hmm. That's the unfortunate part. Like, they just don't see it anymore, because at the end of the day, it's like, if I'm trying to build this for black people, create this for black people, do this for black, like, if you look at my whole life, it's black, 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 black. Like, I'm blacker than black. But because I don't come out the house like, man, what's up, nigga? I don't give a fuck about none of these people. You know what? And we all broke out here together. I don't give a fuck. They be looking at me like, man, you on some other shit. That don't work for me. Like you ain't with us. And I'm like, well, I get that. And I ain't mad at you for that. But I ain't about to compromise my position of building for us to make you comfortable. Because otherwise, our comfort becomes our slavery. All right, we finished this slide?
Yes.
Next slide.
Linking it to the larger hierarchy. When you flip the original hierarchy, time, attention, money, this new framing clarifies why attention sits between time and money.
This is fire. Keep going.
Time gives you the container, what you have to spend. Attention determines the yield, what you make from that time.
Wait, slow the fuck down. Time says this is how much time you got. But attention says, what can you make from that time? We all got 24 hours in a day. The reason some of us suck is our attention sucks. Somebody like me can look at 24 hours and be like, damn, all this free time? And somebody else be like, I'm so exhausted, I don't get no time for myself. And act like the world made a decision for you. But here's the thing, you're not flawed. You might say, no, what you just said like we're flawed. No, you're not flawed. Because it's a journey of, when you climb out of poverty, this is some of the shit we gotta work on. Trust me, years of work on this. I didn't go from making money to, oh yeah, fuck, I got attention. I started making money. It's like, okay, stay focused. No, stay focused. like it was just so bad. And if you guys remember when I first started, Shakina was around when I first started teaching my first class. I taught attention. Hey, when you're in your car, this is how you should be doing. When you're at the gym, this is how you got to learn. You was there, right? This is how you learn. This is how you take your attention back. And yet, we don't realize that's not easy. You have to train yourself to gain control of your attention. Otherwise, you can spend 2 weeks and never read one piece of material, never worked on any strategy, never worked on any changes, and then you still got dreams of hope of the world's going to change for you. Keep going.
Money becomes the outcome, what flows from how you spent both.
Keep going.
So attention is the conversation mechanism.
The conversion mechanism.
The conversion mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
The bridge between potential and results.
So if you don't have potentials, if you're not managing your attention, you're a person with great potentials. You'll be seeing people talk about you like that for years to come. Oh my God, you have so many potentials. Oh my God, I just see it in you. And what dropped the conversion from time to money is you never took ownership of your own attention. This is why I'm so sensitive about what grabs my attention. I'm so militant, and it's so abstract that people can't understand it from the outside. Because they're like, well, why don't you care? Like, if you catch me at a certain time and I'm focused, stop talking to me. I will look at you like, why are you talking? You see me focusing on something. And I'm not asked, but like my own daughter knows how to walk in my daughter's a little one. She'll walk in the room and be like, oh, you studying, Dad? All right, I'm out. And if she studied the same thing, I'm out. Because in the end, you got to respect that time because that's the conversion happening. We're converting. We're converting potential to becoming what we are, what everybody's seeing us. Next slide. Now let's discuss energy. This is important. This is where the energy come from. Step into energy. Go ahead.
Energy, the fuel of all productivity and pressure.
Presence.
Forgive me, y'all.
It's okay. Look, y'all guys do a sippy for class. You know what I mean? Or was it? Would you say Court? They be smoking that weed? But go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just saying.
I do declare.
She's like her perfume hella strong right now, huh? I gotta read for class.
I just need my glasses, thank you.
Go ahead.
Why it comes first. Y'all gonna call me Four Eyes from now on out. I ain't coming without my glasses.
Okay.
Energy determines how much quality you can bring to your time.
So once again, energy. So for example, remember we used to tell you guys to work out? You know, working out increases energy. Sleeping increases energy. Energy management is combined to exercising and sleep. So if your exercise and sleep is trash, you forget about time, attention, money. You don't have no energy. Keep going.
You can have all the time in the world, but if you're mentally exhausted or emotionally depleted, nothing valuable happens.
Keep going.
Energy is the multiplier of everything that follows. It's what turns minutes into momentum.
So, that's a key word there. How do your minutes become momentum? You guys ever get into a flow? Writing flow, work flow, right? What allows that to happen is energy management. Lose energy management and watch how you can't get a flow going. Flows where you get hella shit done in a short period of time. That's energy management. So if you're not exercising and you're not sleeping, you're not eating good, and then you say, well, what do I do in entrepreneur class? It's called energy management. It's energy management. Keep going.
Healthy investment questions. Am I sleeping, eating, and moving in ways that sustain my energy?
You hear that? Eating, sleeping, and moving. Keep going.
Am I around people or environments that drain or recharge me?
So, drain or recharge you. When you're around people who drain you, you know what it is. You can feel it. People just, when you walk around, you can be standing ready to jog, and as soon as you see them, you just feel like you need to sit down. I don't know what it is. I just talking to you just make you want to sit here all goddamn day. like literally, when you're around energy people, they literally will ask you, what are you doing next? Where are you going next? What's happening next? What you working on? Right? Not low energy people. Oh man, I'm just chilling, man. Man, you doing too much, man. I don't need to hear all that, man. You doing too much. That's got me tired listening to you. You know the fuck I'm talking about. Keep going.
Am I doing work that gives energy, alignment, or only takes it away? Survival.
Meaning, are you doing work, survival work? Are you doing work where, for example, you ever had those kind of jobs where your job has no meaning? If anybody works for UPS, forgive me. But y'all know some of the UPS jobs, they just will drain your energy from you. Right? We've all been young before. We always had that job. And you'd be like, God damn, I was there for 4 hours. I feel like I was there for 20 hours. Because it's just meaningless work, right? Or are you doing things, or sometimes there's certain jobs you should be paying for that you're actually doing that should just be paid for because they're taking energy away from you. Like you have to audit what you're using your energy on, who's around you, what kind of people around you, how your world is designed, how much light comes into your house. I'm talking about energy is a series, complete managing of systems. Go ahead.
Energy is the foundation. Everything else is a reflection of how you manage it.
100%. Next slide. Let's go.
How would you like me to read
Just
it?
rank one. Let's go through rank one. Then go straight across. Yeah.
Okay. Rank 1, resource, energy, function, fuel, common misuse, burnout, ignoring health, healthy focus, protect vitality first.
Go ahead. Keep going.
2, time, function, allocation, common misuse, wasting time on low value tasks, healthy focus, prioritize what compounds.
So prioritize things that give you a high reward for the investment of your time. Keep going.
Resource, attention, function, conversion, Common misuse, distraction, reacting. Healthy focus, train focus daily.
So let me say something about reacting too. Going back to what Cord just said. Some of your problems, this is not all problems. Some problems, take a day off before you make a decision. Take a week off before you make some decisions. When you be reactionary, sometimes some things can. Have you had a situation where you, and this is you have to train your brain to do this. A problem happens, you go, I'm going to take my mind off of it so I can actually solve it. Mm-hmm. But if it locks down your attention, you're just as dumb as you were when you first heard about it. Mm-hmm. You got to learn how to create space for certain type of problems in your life so you can become a better version of yourself to solve your own problems. Number 4.
Resource, money. Function, reflection. Common misuse, chasing or overspending.
Chasing us. Y'all understand me. Go ahead.
Healthy focus, let it serve your vision.
Thank you. All right, next slide.
Shabisha got a question.
Go ahead.
So I was reading about some.
Man, y'all, did that voice sound good though? Did that voice sound good? Look here. I don't know what you're gonna say, but you right. Go ahead.
I have been really diving into just auditing time because historically I don't give enough space and time. So what I have been reading about is the human brain is not good at understanding how much time things take. It sucks at it, right? And so I think a lot about how do I get better at something that the brain is just not set up to do well. And so when you say that, the question that comes to mind is, how do I know if something takes a day? How do I know if something takes a week? Right now, I'm just kind of playing with things.
For attention management or for our time?
Time. So when you take time away to give yourself time to kind of process, I will say this, it usually ends up working out. Like I get to where I need to go, and usually I have been more anxious about time, and I actually had more time, right? I was feeling like, oh, this is super late, and the person on the other end was feeling like, I didn't expect to have it by then. Mm-hmm. So I'm much more in the, like, I have to do it right away. And so I'm learning how to play with that space, but it all still feels real, like, fumbly to me. So I'm just curious how you figured that out, like how you think about that.
Yeah, no, time is that's going to a more advanced, like how you use time strategically.
Okay.
To maximize strategy outcome.
Yeah.
And it really is like an accelerator where you slow down, speed up effectively. I think that's a whole session in itself because you got to get into like what's causing the distortion of your acceleration and slowing down process. Mm-hmm. Third thing would be, I think a safe heuristic is always create more time because speed creates more distortions. So anybody, like, for example, if I have a project I'm working on and it has to be on Friday, if I finish it by Wednesday, I'm gonna use Thursday to go back and look at it again because of my speed I was moving, I probably made a lot of mistakes. Mm-hmm. So I try to use the time because the faster you move, the more urgency clips your attention, mm-hmm. right? And what happens is tension almost needs space to breathe, right? So time and attention is this weird marriage. And so a lot of times that one of my, just kind of a heuristic, but there's different variations of this. A lot of times when it comes to time, I'm trying to protect my attention relationship to the outcome as opposed to just looking at time in isolation. So I'm trying to stay close to this messaging because I think we would have to teach a whole different class on time and perception of time. But one of the ways I protect this, like, for example, because this happened to me before where when I used to be a photographer and I would edit photos and I would rush overnight and get ready for them the next morning. And then I would look at the photos the next day and be like, who edited these photos? Like I would see, I'm like, there's nowhere in the world, like somebody jumped me. I just nowhere in the world I did that, right? and then realize, oh, I didn't give attention space. Mm. And so attention space would be that, Okay, if they're ready today, I need to walk away, reset my attention, come back, look at it again. My brain goes, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And I did it. And what that does, that raises the quality of my output, right? But even with teams, I do that. Like, for example, I will also under promise and over deliver, but my over deliver is not reducing the time. It might be building a better system to maximize the time I get. But the other part of your question will require me to just completely detour. Okay, so I'll tell you what, I will build another layer of time to address time navigation to maximize outcome. Okay, next slide. So this part of the class is going to be so uncomfortable. I'm glad Shabisha's here because she does the uncomfortable the best. She's one of the coolest, like, you don't realize Shabisha's one of my thought partners. So a lot of times when she's uncomfortable, we have great dialogue. So I'm looking forward to her being. So I'm going to show you guys a huge distortion, huge fucking distortion. And it's something that I don't think you're going to be comfortable with. But it's the most it's the purest form of being an entrepreneur. I'm gonna stop there. Let's just jump to the next slide. Let's just jump into it. This is gonna be great.
Life's problems are open-ended. School or mentorship gives us clear rules.
So listen to this real quick. So life's problems, entrepreneurs, your business follows the same rules. So schools and mentors gives us clear rules. Keep going.
Do this, get that result. But real life doesn't follow fixed equations. Problems evolve, people shift, and conditions change.
So real life doesn't have answers. Stay with that for a second. Y'all cool with that first? If you're running a business, there's nobody to go find. There's no answer. This is a journey. You're on a journey of there's no answers. But do we move like that? Think about that. I got to go find somebody to give me the answer. When you're consulting, are you consulting somebody to give them the answer? Or are you consulting them to say, there ain't no answer? I want you to think about this. Like when we're working on business problem, now it's different if you're working in a department in a company. There's more because of the curation of the structure allows you to have answers. But when you're the entrepreneur, you're at the tip of that ship selling that ocean. There's no answers. Keep going.
So, if your only learning muscle is finding who has the answer, you'll struggle when you're the one who must create it.
Uh-oh. Let me say it again. So watch this. When your muscle is trying to figure out who got the answer, ChatGPT, somebody got to have the answer. No, you got to create the answer. I'm going to show you how this is cold-blooded and how this is unfolding. Because so many of us are like, even those of us who are teaching often are masking as if we have the answers. We don't have all the answers. But then does your brain go, I'm comfortable with that? Or, well, I need to find somebody else who has the answers then. Keep going.
That's why deep learners move from answer seeking to pattern seeking. They start asking, what's the structure of this problem? Instead of, who can tell me the right move? So,
even your learning is not meant to learn in the context. Oh, are we okay, Josh? Okay, cool. Even your learning of how we're learning, we're not seeking so for example, you're sitting in class and you take a test. What's automatically assumed? The teacher has the answers. You go to college, you get a degree because a person grades you on the person who had the answer. Your teacher is supposed to be symbolizing having the answer. And you get into the world, we go, ain't no teachers out here. Nobody got no answers. Well, I learned entrepreneurship. You got to learn the patterns. What the fuck do you mean the patterns? See, the pattern is designed for innovation, not the answer. The answer is no innovation. If somebody has the answer, there's no innovation. Innovation comes from taking the known knowns and manipulating them to create your own. Is that crazy? Stay with me for a second, because I'm about to fuck with your minds for a minute. Because you're going to hear the world totally different by the end of this class. There's no known knowns. I mean, excuse me, there's no answers. There's patterns. Meaning, if I'm giving you recipes, see, you know the best way to blow up in entrepreneurship training is tell you what you want to hear. Y'all just heard Nana say he gonna do that shit. But that's the best way to become an entrepreneur trainer. It's just tell you what you want to hear, and we can figure it out. Mm-hmm. Trust me, we can pick up on what you want to hear. I could make this whole class where you doing this whole class. Man, that shit hella deep. That shit hella. And guess what? You just as broke as you were before you got here, with no power to change it. But if I train you, the purpose of an entrepreneur class is not to give you recipes, but to teach you how to think. This is why you practice every year, making your thinking more robust, as opposed to mastering and memorizing the answers. Memorizing answers, that when you memorize the answers, you get into a world that's full of uncertainty, random, unpredictable. It is full of chaos, full of competition. Things are changing all the time. And you go out there with them damn answers. It's like somebody going on a basketball court in the NBA and be like, okay, so when my coach says that you should double twice here, lean like this, cross over between the legs, bring it back. So I'm going to do this every game. So what I'm going to do to get around you is I'm going to do it. So Draymond Green, why you take the ball from me? Like literally, that's how bad you are when you work with answers. You're telegraphing. You're so elementary that all of us out here, it's like a puppy runs out to the wolves and say, guys, can I run with you? And each one's like, who's going to eat them first? We're wolves. We're going to destroy this animal here. Eat them first. Mm-hmm. This is going to be prey. But you think, because somebody told you, no, when you get amongst wolves, all you got to do is howl. Dog. Not going to work. Keep going. Let's go to the next. We finish that slide?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go and jump into it. Let's go.
The answer culture trains us to avoid uncertainty.
So the answer culture trains us to avoid uncertainty. But reality, as an entrepreneur, is you building a healthy relationship with certainty. So because you're looking for people with answers, you are actually training yourself not to survive in the wild. Who's a mentor? Did you get your mentor? I was speaking to this one dude. He's going to become my mentor. I use this to mentor me because somebody just need to give me the answer, as opposed to, no, you are now the manufacturer of answers. Is that crazy? Has anybody ever taught y'all that shit?
I learned that at Hope.
Yeah, but cold piece. But the reality is that most people teach you that there's this guru. Mm-hmm. And in this game, I'm telling you that no. That's called the answer culture. You got to learn how to survive in uncertainty and navigate that. Even the white supremacy narrative doesn't work in the uncertainty thinking, but in the answer culture, white supremacy works. Mm-hmm. They have the answers, we don't. This is why we need to study the books to get the answers. There ain't no answers, dog. You gotta learn how to think. You gotta learn how to see the patterns. You gotta learn how to see the abstract patterns to make critical decisions to create a creative advantage.
It also makes me think about how all mentors aren't created equal. Like they're not all the same. And you'll get more or less from your mentor based on how grounded you are in reality, because they can only give you feedback based off of how honest the intel is that they're receiving.
But we also created a lot of false mentors, because the answer culture works two ways. So now I feel like to give you an answer even though I don't have an answer. Yeah. Keep going. From childhood.
From childhood, we're rewarded for knowing the right answer, not for asking better questions.
Ooh, keep going.
In school, you get A's for recall, not exploration. Mm-hmm. You get praise for being certain, not for being curious. Mm-hmm. You learn that mistakes equal failure, not discovery.
By the way, that's my daughter. My daughter thinks like that. I train her to think the mistakes represent discovery. Like first of all, my daughter's a negotiating queen. Don't try it. She said what?
5 more minutes, please.
5 more minutes?
Can I get 5 more minutes, Daddy?
Yeah, sir. Yeah. She, everything's negotiation with her now, and I smile every time. Like, all right, I see you. No, but the reality is that these patterns that you've been trained, the reason a lot of entrepreneurs don't come out of schools is not because their brains are not strong or they're not smart or not good enough. Oh, that's distortions. You've been shaped by certain biases by your commitment to certain systems. And a lot of kids who broke away from the system, who built whatever, and as they had to adjust to life, they may have had the opportunity, luckily, to adjust to uncertainty and all these other things because that system said, because you can't follow these rules, we're kicking you out. So in their survival mode outside, they were able to download some of these seem special skills. But what I'm saying to you guys is that if you went to school, you're going to have to learn to live outside of your cultural comfort zone, because your cultural comfort zone is living in a world that's dealing with randomness. I mean, the world is absolutely random. It's not these clean linear patterns. Those make you feel good, but the reality is that the world is absolutely random. Could you imagine the board meeting that happened 6 months before COVID and the amount of money that was being invested to go this way, and then COVID happened, and it was like, throw it away. Random. Somebody just dies. Random. Competition is born tomorrow you didn't see coming from nowhere. Random. Culture shifts trends. Random. You make blind mistakes. Random. You don't make mistakes, but guess what? The other group who was really weaker than you made a better decision. Random. Shit's just fucking random. And so if you're navigating that world and start trying to compete, a lot of your behavior patterns and how you're looking at life is actually working against your ability to navigate yourself in a random world. Keep going.
So when we step into real life, where answers aren't clear, rules are fuzzy, and outcomes are uncertain, our training fails us. We panic, freeze, or look for someone to tell us what to do. That's not stupidity, that's conditioning.
Think about that. You've been conditioned. Who's gonna teach me? Who's my mentor? We even brag about, I got this mentor over here. Well, like people ask me sometimes, I used to struggle. It's like, why are you, or what has been your success so far? And my answers has been a certain portion of luck and figuring this shit out. And that sounds really weak. But if you understood the way I'm managing time, attention, the way I'm moving my life and my structure and how I'm moving, you've watched my practice and my habits and my consumption of information and my observation of patterns. And even if anybody talks to me one-on-one, we have a lot of pattern dialogue. Am I lying? We do a lot of pattern dialogue. So that's my entrepreneurship. But I realize that I'm not special. My previous win doesn't guarantee my next win. And that I'm going to lose some battles. I'm going to win some battles. It's just I got to win more than I lose. That's it. But I'm not. This ain't no game. But there's no such thing as your ego tells you you're special. This is why you're winning. You know, you worked harder than everybody else. You're smart. No, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm getting rid of all that shit. You are the creators of your new future. White people can't even stop it. Old people can't stop it. Your family can't stop it. Only you can stop it. Ain't that some crazy shit? Next slide.
Real life operates on learning loops, not answer keys.
Mm-hmm. So real life, so let me help you out with this. If you went to a company and they said, we have a problem, you know what your real answer should be? First, it depends. A lot of shit can happen. 2, the power of your answers lies in the process, not my knowledge. Meaning that we're going to build a process, and that process is going to test possibilities, and then we're going to learn from those possibilities, make some adjustments, and find an answer. That's it. That's how this shit works. Not, if you just do this. Now, there's small things like, oh, your hand is itching, use that cream, it stops itching because you got bit by a mosquito. That's straightforward, right? But when you get into systems and complexities, it's way more complex. And so a lot of times when you're building something for somebody, are you working on building something? This whole idea of if I just follow this formula, I'm gonna get from here to here. If I follow this recipe, I'm gonna get from here to here. When it's really, no, you gotta learn how to think to navigate this, because you're gonna see a lot of shit you didn't even plan on seeing. I think Eisenhower said, plan, 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 plan. And before you go to war, throw the plan away. He said, because when you get out there, none of that shit's gonna exist. But what the plan did is help you develop robust thinking that helps you prepare yourself for the battle.
You gotta say that again.
So plan, 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 plan. When you go to war, throw that shit away, because when you get out there, none of that shit gonna exist. But what planning does for you, it helps you develop the robust thinking to help you navigate yourself in the war.
It's like the business plan.
So you're planning to develop your thinking, but your thinking is gonna get you to that war, not the plan. See, nobody talks to people like this. In the self-help courses, they talk that, it's all fixed. Everything's fixed. You just do this and then this work. You do that, this work. No, this shit doesn't work. There's so many variations of this shit happening that the answers don't fit all these different variations of this shit happening. You gotta let go of that idea that your plans are the future. Your plans is the enhancement of your thinking to move into the future. Go ahead, Josh.
So this might sound stupid. I just want to make sure I'm getting what you're saying right.
No, nothing sounds stupid, Josh.
Right.
Especially from you.
So my new fidget is I'm learning how to play Madden and football, and I don't know what most of those plays mean. And I'm trying to figure out like why the offenses are running through me or passing over me. So, I chat GPT'd and tried to learn what each phrase meant, and I still got ran over. And what I had learned,
That's what happens to you all the time, huh? Go ahead.
but what I had learned was the computer had an algorithm, and that once I started to see its algorithm, I exploited it by predicting what plays it was going to make. So there was no right answer in the sense of if I use this play, it'll stop play action. That I was just sort of figuring out its algorithm.
It's almost the same thing because the algorithm is patterns.
Yeah.
It's a lot simpler in that world because it's less variables, less layers. But what you just did was, instead of you getting caught in a lot of the noise of life, because life has a lot of noise, you start to pay attention to the patterns, and because you started seeing the patterns, you start seeing opportunities that other people can't see who just pick the game and may even know football. But football, real life football, has a wider selection of possibilities, where Madden has actually a limited selection of possibilities. And once you master those patterns, that gives you an advantage. So that's absolutely correct.
When I advance the difficulty level, it's the same thing as you saying the deconstructing the loop and then finding another loop to learn, because there's going to be a different set of rules and a different set of
100%.
algorithms. Okay, cool.
And so the practice of learning is not us just trying to say learn because education changes the world. Like, no. Astronauts learn a lot of shit you would think has nothing to do with space. But because they don't know where they're going, what's up there, they learn a lot of different shit. So then when they get up there, because they learned a lot of different shit, their collaboration allows them to solve problems that they've never seen before. Don't even know that it would exist before. The same thing for entrepreneurs. We practice learning all the time, not because everything I read, I don't read material to solve a problem. I read to solve a problem I don't know exists yet. So a lot of times I will even read multiple disciplines of different stuff because it's helping me think about life in a way that when a certain problem comes across my table, I'm like, I have an idea. If I combine these patterns here, I think I can produce a solution. And then here's the thing. I need to develop multiple ideas because that idea, so I may have an idea. Now I'm going to show them, this is my idea. Let's work on some more ideas. So now when we go out there, let's start chiseling away till we have our top 3 ideas and which one you want to test first. That's it. But this whole idea of you're the guru and you see everything, no, ain't nobody no gurus. That's why when gurus come to me, I look at them like, do I have to hear this shit? I mean, how much time I this cat here? Because you don't exist. You're full of shit. No, you come to me and say, hey, Don, I got some good processes on how to be able to gain insights and possibilities around this problem. I'd be like, oh, sit down. But I know how to solve this problem. Oh boy. Okay. Somebody close the door. Keep going. You don't just ask, it was. You don't just ask.
Sorry. You don't just ask, what did I do wrong? You ask, what assumption made me think that was right?
So remember I taught you guys assumption game, first principle thinking, how your assumption game is assumptions is a hidden level of wisdom. Once you can see assumptions, like I've heard people say things to me, I'm like, there was 5 assumptions you just made right there. And because you made the 5 assumptions, your conclusion is not even a conclusion. It's a hypothesis. So can we fill in those assumptions, or can we just rest that's an assumption and we start with this conversation from there? Why that's important is because there's a lot of smooth talk. I'm gonna use East Oakland talk, or just straight black people talk. There's a lot of smooth talkers in business that's running a hella game. And if you can't see the assumption game, you about to be the prostitute of everybody who runs across you. You got to learn how to see the assumptions people are making when we're talking about business and making decisions. And the more you start to see your assumptions, the more you improve your decision making. Keep going.
This is the muscle of learning in uncertainty, being willing to act, reflect, and adjust when the map doesn't exist yet.
Isn't that game? Have you ever heard anybody teach that before in a business class? That your job is to learn how to, that you're moving in uncertainty. You're not moving in certainty. And let me say something about uncertainty. Do you know your brain hates uncertainty? You know what I say? Hate uncertainty. It hates, because uncertainty to your brain symbolizes risk of death. So don't think uncertainty is just a rational space. It's an emotional space that will become so powerful that you may avoid it and don't even know you're avoiding it. It's like an undercurrent. When your body thinks it's facing uncertainty, your brain will literally say, well, I don't care about it. I'm going to go do this over here. And you'll spend your whole life going around that uncertainty because your brain is literally saying, no, we don't want to fuck with that. I don't know. That's uncertainty back in the days meant death. You don't like uncertainty. So you have to learn how to build a muscle to walk into uncertainty and be like, literally, if I dropped you off, you ever seen bear that they drop off in the middle of the wilderness? I can show you how to drop you off anywhere. You know how to navigate that space. And when you navigate that space, bear doesn't go there and be like, all right, somebody give me a compass and a map. Because your brain should work like a compass, not reading a map. You should start being a compass. You learn how to see the directions, read the patterns of the world around you. But what bear would happen with bears, he would go in the wilderness and look for patterns he can recognize to actually use it to survive.
Like what side of the tree the moss grows on.
Right, what side all that kind of stuff. Where you can tell where the water is moving, where the sun is hitting the trees. You can tell by the movement of shrubbery what kind of animal we possibly be out. Like all those patterns recognition allows him to invent solutions to get his ass out of that goddamn forest. Mm-hmm. Right? But if you're in a situation where you're looking for a recipe to get out that forest, you're dead. You're fucked. You're dead. Wolves love this story. Go ahead, next slide.
The default, outsourcing wisdom. When people feel unsafe in uncertainty, they default to authority seeking. Mm-hmm. Who's done this before? Who has the right answer? But in new territory, new businesses, new markets, new relationships, no one has your exact answer.
No one has the answer, Sway. Like literally you guys are taking these classes, paying for. Okay, let me tell you how you know you're being pimped. This course is going to cost you, and if you want to upgrade yourself, it's going to cost you this much more. You're being pimped. Really, a true entrepreneur class should be training you how to think better, how to see more patterns, and how to enhance and how to fight your inner self. That's what business is really about. Now, going back to what Shakina was asking for financial training. Even in financial training, I'm telling you, for somebody who came from the hood, you will change what you hear based upon your relationship to money. If you sit in front of somebody and say, invest your money, you just heard somebody gonna steal my money. You literally go into, okay, I need to breathe. I need to breathe, right? You hear pay taxes, you hear injustice. Like, I'm telling you, this is what you're gonna feel. You got to learn how to hear and sense something different than what you've been conditioned. And for you to think that you should leave your conditioning alone and jump in this game with us, and it's going to work for you, your conditioning will undermine you, not the outside competition. Keep going.
They can give you principles, not prescriptions. If you only look outward for certainty, you never develop the inner framework for discovery.
There you go. I can't say that no better. Next slide.
The shift. From finding answers to designing
Now,
experience.
this is important, y'all. This is how we get to where we want to get to. Let's go.
Entrepreneurs who thrive in uncertainty think differently. Instead of what's the right move, they ask, what small move can I test?
Do you how many entrepreneurs say, I'm working on my business, I invest all this money in the logo, and what was my old phrase? Go sell some shit. You remember you said go sell some, you know what that was? Go test. Because you don't know the market. You don't control the market. You have no ownership of the market. Let me show you where you don't have an answer. You don't know what your customer is going to do. I don't care what you're selling. You don't know what your customer is going to do. There is no answer for that. So how are you moving into space of engaging customers with certainty and don't have answer to the way the customers respond? You should be moving into engaging customers with a natural sense of uncertainty. Even if you win the customer over today, tomorrow is full of uncertainty. How are you treating tomorrow relationship with your customers with certainty? Is it because you don't like uncertainty, so you're just forcing yourself to fall into patterns with your customers that have nothing to do with your customers? It's more based upon your discomfort with uncertainty. Is that cold? Once you have an uncertainty relationship with your customers, you check it in. Imagine being with somebody that you really, really love, but they may leave you any day. Any day. Every day you wake up with them, hey baby, how you doing? You going to the store? Okay. Who car are you taking? Okay. How long you gonna be gone? Which store you going to? Okay, all right. What you picking up? You know, we already got that in store, but if you need a different color? Okay, all right. I talked to your mama yesterday. Yes, I did. Yes, she told me a lot about you. I just want to let you know I'm making your favorite cake tonight. So, just in case you want to come home. That's how we treat our customers. Am I lying?
I love everything about that.
Because guess what I'm doing with my customers? What are you into? Where are you going? Why are you into that? Insights. We designed something for you. You like this? Oh, you don't like that? Okay, I redesign that. Okay. And you're constantly doing that because guess what? Every day the customer that fell in love with you is dying. Meaning they changed trends, they moved on, they got older. Whatever happened, they changed. So guess what? I don't assume you, my customer. I'm assuming I started off with you, but now I'm looking at her, and tomorrow I got her, and the next day is him. And all three of you in my brain is one person. I got to be able to pull that apart and realize I got to show up every day with this idea of, oh shit, you might leave me at any minute.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
How do you differentiate that process that you just explained from people pleasing? Because
people pleasing is a lower frequency. People pleasing is a non-strategical engagement of getting people to like
so
you.
It's strategy over.
I'm talking about people liking my product. Most of my customers never even know who the fuck I am. Right? But I realize that my relationship of my clients to my customer will seem like people pleasing as far as a product's relationship to my customers. So people pleasing, for example, name a product that's at the top of the game that ain't playing the people pleasing game. Go ahead, Shabisha. Pass her the microphone.
I guess the way that I think about it is just it's a thing of positioning, right?
100%.
You just have to be close enough to be able to hear, to touch, to feel, to listen, to feel breezes, to see where their eyes go, right? So it's not so much about pleasing.
Everything.
It's not so much
There
about
you go.
pleasing. It's really just about like
Serving.
Your position,
Serving.
your proximity is enough so that as things start to move, you're able to be in coordination with that, and you're not somewhere far away and it's moving on without you. So it's more, I guess the way I think about it is more positioning than I think of pleasing.
Also, too, it's easy for our brain not to marry hindsight relationship with our customers, not foresight relationship with our customers. So you think about the relationship you have with your customers, don't realize it ain't got to do with next year's relationship with customers. And so you got to discover what that is. Like you're just stuck in a constant dating role with your customers.
It's like the flash mob.
Yeah.
They hear, they dance, they leave.
Yeah. Like literally it happens like that because people, Tomorrow, somebody's gonna build a gym that's gonna be better than yours. It just is. Or they may not, if you're listening. If you're staying close to that trend, you be like, oh, they like gyms with more rugs. We're bringing rugs to gyms, so I guess we're gonna have to order some rugs. And what the fuck are we using rugs for? Some new shit. Go ahead.
This is a very, very, very profound point, and I think it goes back to you said service. How can I serve you, and getting comfortable with serving people, because it's not even about us at that. We're not in business for us. We're in business for them. So it's hell of important to know everything about what makes our customers tick and be willing to move, adjust, and serve them at whatever capacity they need us to in order to get the deal reciprocated consistently.
100%. That's why you can't serve a hella different kind of customers. Right. You don't have the attention span for it. Like if you try to serve multiple customers, you're building too many products, and before your product is so neutral, none of your customers want it. So this certainty navigation is so cold, because if you're trying to seek out certainty by nature, it's easy for you to disconnect from your customer. But if you stay in an uncertain relationship with your customer, you design your business differently, and you prioritize that relationship. You just prioritize snooping out your customers, watching what they're doing, where they're going, pulling data. Oh, they all went to this baseball game? Huh, why did they all go to the baseball game? As opposed to like, oh, they went to the game, who cares? They'll be back to buy my product tomorrow. And more companies move like that than they do. Now, the companies are really, really strong. They're watching your behavior patterns, because they need to know where you're going next, so I can get there first and have everything set up for you when you get there. Go ahead. Keep reading.
Instead of who has the blueprint, they ask what pattern might apply.
There you go. So see, this will free you from the mentor dialogue. Now, this class is meant for steel sharpening steel, and constantly growing our thinking and expanding our thinking, right? And even revisiting old thoughts and saying, hey, do we really have it? And because as you learn more, you forget some. Let's just keep it 100. All these motherfuckers act like they come to class and learn this shit, and they ain't never forgotten nothing. I don't know what genie they came out of, what bottle they came out of. But the reality is that you got to be in an environment where learning is it's like the gym. You don't go to the gym one time, I'm going to be buff for the rest of my life. So she couldn't use the gym yesterday. So the point is this: so the reality is that this entrepreneur stuff is you trying to understand patterns, because you can become your own mentor. Doesn't mean that you don't have feedback loops, but you're not out here going, who's my next guru? You have people that you admire, people you read about, people that exemplars, people that you look at and go like, hey, what my exemplar do in this situation? But you're not people worshiping the same, because you realize it falls on your ownership. Even if somebody can give you, if somebody was capable of giving you the answer, the dependency is not sustainable. Yeah. So you got to become self-reliant. Keep going.
Instead of what if I'm wrong, they ask, what will I learn if I'm wrong?
100%.
That mindset transforms uncertainty into a laboratory for growth, not a threat to security.
So the threat to security is how you naturally will feel. You got to turn that threat of security to your laboratory. Like once you learn to have a healthy relationship with uncertainty, it becomes your laboratory of where innovation comes from. You innovate in that space of uncertainty. But if you can't walk into that space of uncertainty, remember we talked about how, I think it was defensive thinking, how you choose lower quality businesses. I'm gonna do a barbershop. I'm gonna do a hairstyling. I'm gonna do t-shirts. I'm gonna do music club. Right, a lot of that stuff. Why do you make those choices? Because you're uncomfortable dealing with. You're trying to protect yourself, and one of the ways you feel unprotected is uncertainty. You gotta learn how to like literally exist with uncertainty. Go, it's cool. Like I literally, like one of my favorite things I used to love to do is fly somewhere, get off the plane, have no agenda, and figure that shit out. I used to love that shit, especially in New York. I would just start walking in one direction, and be like, wherever I end up, I love this shit. Uncertainty was just it's a addiction of mine. So when I go back to Ghana, before I go to people I know, I'm going there and get lost, figure it out. I got enough money in my pocket. I can sleep somewhere. Shit. Okay, you guys have questions? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm getting the feeling that certainty is that assumptions are rooted in trying to be certain. It is this feel because uncertainty
See how you do it.
is being okay without the answers, being trying to find the patterns. So what is forcing me to think is,
That's pretty good.
how do we find the patterns of our assumptions? Because our assumptions are driving the way that we see things, right? So if we
So-
can remove, how do we see those patterns?
Part 2 of this class is we won't make because we have the tunnel closes at 10, so we won't be a little accurate on getting out of here tonight at 9:15. But part 2 of this class is intuition. I'm revisiting intuition. We've revisited past, and I'm taking it out of the sitting around some mathematicians and discussing intuition. I didn't realize how powerful it was. So it allowed me to revisit it. This is years back. And so over time, I stopped talking about intuition because I didn't like, one, I was wrong because I left it into this gut feeling, and it's way beyond that. Way more. We're going to talk about it. But part of that is part of you learning to engage your intuitions, which is, by the way, schools destroy our relationship to our intuition, is intuition is learning how to think about your thinking. Let me say this again. Learn how to think about your thinking. And in order for you to have a relationship with your assumptions, you have to be in the rhythm of thinking about your thinking.
That's where I'm at. So I'm really diving into how I think and what drives the way I think,
That's
and finding those
100%.
assumptions in
100%.
my thought processes. And that's why I'm asking, like, are my assumptions rooted in trying to be certain about shit?
Yes,
Or-
yes. That's what I said. I thought that was a good connection analysis. And the reason that's a good connection analysis is because a lot of times, well, I think it's sometimes it's certainty, and sometimes it's just, it's almost like a heuristic act where we're not even trying to process it. I'm gonna throw some things in there, and I'm just like, and I think that works, right? It's almost like we almost do it like, you're not a press secretary. If you ask me how you doing, I'm doing great. You're not doing great. It's just your brain's trained to say I'm doing great to protect you. A lot of our assumptions are designed to protect us. Just to finish the point, because I really try to make this bigger point. I'm gonna throw a couple of assumptions there to get to a bigger point. Not realizing that, do you own that? Do you own that point there? Do you own that insight on that? And you realize I don't own these 4. And if I just was go back and just take ownership of those 4 assumptions, it would change my own point. Just that simple. So you improve your decision making and your thinking by having a relationship to your assumptions, right? Which I'm gonna get into into thinking about your thinking. But going back to this point here, navigating uncertainty. You might go to the gym and your brain tell you why you shouldn't be there. Anybody ever had
Yeah.
experience? Almost every time, right? It's almost every time. Am I lying? Like, anybody go to the gym and their brain be like, "This is gonna be great. This is fabulous. Don't you love this?" Your brain be like,
Everything hurts.
like every time,
And
right?
sleep.
Right? And it's like it's such a deep pattern that
I wanna be here.
And most people succumb to that, right? Most people go, "Yeah, I ain't going today. I'm gonna go eat tomorrow, next week." And then you talk to them like 6 years later. When last you been to the gym? Damn, like it was like 2017, something like that. Man, I had a good work on that. Then they start giving me details like it mattered from 2017. Like, yeah, I ran 6 months, 2017, dog. Let's just stop here. But anyway, but that feeling how it just takes over you, it's even more powerful with uncertainty. When you face uncertainty, it's almost as gut. Your brain will even rationalize this choice over that choice, dumping the old choice. You guys get that? Shit's cold. So you got to learn how to develop. That's why a lot of people don't become entrepreneurs, because you can't, even if you're not successful entrepreneurs, but you're on this journey, you usually will make wealth over time. You will gain wealth over time, right? But most people can't weather this storm because they're thinking, they're conditioning, not the thing. They're conditioning. Conditioning is not, you didn't choose your conditioning. A lot of you guys are born in conditioning. This is not a reflection, but you have to recondition yourself to play in this game. Go ahead, Chisati.
So is this like the precursor to scaling?
Oh, it's way before. Yeah, this is just precursor. Because, okay, scaling is so abstract and so outside of our conditioning. Your brain will hear the principles but can't really move in those principles. Because uncertainty is a major part of scaling. You can't scale without a relationship to uncertainty. You can't. It's not about, I tell you how it showed up with the George Floyd era of businesses. A lot of businesses became addicted to raising money over actually engaging the market because they were comfortable, because raising money would feel more certain than actually engaging the actual market itself. But engaging people, okay. Let's say all of us right now get together and we have a deep conversation on what we're going to build, a product, right? And by the end of this conversation, we're all feeling good. Shabisha's using all these fancy words and shit. Josiah's looking like I beat somebody's ass if they don't agree with us, right? Tennille is making it sound very motivated. And then as soon as we go out in the real world, they don't want none of that shit. None. Am I lying, Shabisha? They don't want none of that shit. No matter how fancy our words sound, no matter how many hours we put into it, no matter how many cups of coffee we drank all night, they don't want none of that shit. And it's because you thought I'm certain they're going to want this. You automatically should say, uh-oh. Who in the fuck is certain what other people want? People you don't know. I didn't say what your mama want, who you grew up in a household with. These people across the street, you know exactly what they're going to want, huh? That's not a thing. Next slide.
Why this?
Oh. Okay, so this is starting. Oh wow. Okay. Well, we kind of sped shit up. You know what I'm saying? I was uncertain about this one, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Why this matters for intuition.
Mm-hmm.
Uncertainty is where intuition is born.
Ooh, when I make this connection, uncertainty is where intuition is born. I mean, you just sit with that before we go to uncertainty is where your intuition is born. Keep going.
When you stop outsourcing decisions, you begin to listen how your mind organizes chaos.
Once again, when you stop outsourcing, tell me what to do, you start hearing the chaos in your own mind. You start hearing your thinking. But because you outsource so often, you're underdeveloping your own personal thinking. Did everybody say that shit to you before? This is shit you learn, like when you're in this entrepreneur shit, you learn this shit the hard way. Like you get knocked. I can't tell you how many times I've been knocked out. And kids, I'm going in the room for the kids. They jumped me. No, it was a kid. This little kid. I swear I hate that kid, right? It's because I was framing the world wrong, not realizing, no, I got to bear the answer to this. I got to develop my thinking. There is no book I'm going to read, class I'm going to take in school. The only thing environment for entrepreneurs that serves us is a space for us to practice, not to give us the answers. Like I should be okay. Who goes to Stanford and feels comfortable and gets a PhD? Name a motherfucker you ever heard to say, I went to Stanford and I was totally comfortable and received a PhD. It's no such thing. How the fuck you think you'll come into this class full of entrepreneurs and just be comfortable? I'm supposed to make you feel so uncomfortable in this class but in the end, I'm teaching you I'm training I'm planning. Then you throw it away, you go out there and build your business to realize that your brain is more robust. But you have to stay in an environment where you're constantly challenging, hearing your thinking, talking to other thinkers, bouncing ideas, shortening those feedback loops, and improving your performance.
Every time my clients complain at the gym, I just tell them if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you, and then they shut up.
That's it. That's it. 100% it. Keep going.
You learn the rhythm of your own pattern recognition, what right feels like, not what others say is right.
That's cold. Remember me? Oh, I ain't going to go back to my social justice conference. Go ahead.
Over time, that develops into embodied wisdom, the kind that allows you to move with confidence even when there's no clear path.
Those of you who are constantly referencing sources, you're smart, but you're not wise. Ooh. Those of you who are constantly referencing sources are very, very smart, but the journey of wisdom is totally different. And totally journey of wisdom is a personal journey. Go ahead.
Can I say thank you on this? You broke me on this shit hella bad a while back. 'Cause it was the abstract thing. I was like, dude, no matter how wise somebody is, it could be name any philosopher, your favorite strategist person. It's an abstract for me because it only worked in their living situation. I could never duplicate it one-to-one in my life. So I can read. You know me, I love to read. None of it fucking matters. It's only something I could build a collage at best that I could try to turn into a lever. But yeah, you fucked me up a while back with that. I didn't say anything about it, but yeah. So thank you for that.
But that's the thing. Like, this is something that I was like, no one talks about this. This is really a personal journey that you gauge others with to enhance it and celebrate it and strengthen it. But you have to take ownership of this stuff. And a lot of people, because we constantly referencing sources, we're very, very smart and we impress people when we talk, but we can't fight our way out of a paper bag. Next slide.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Is that like the difference between our brain and our gut in terms of?
Oh no,
like,
it's gonna get a little ways. It's gonna little, I got to do. No, can't cheat that answer. This is gonna be a good one. I'm so excited about teaching intuition. hit key takeaways. Mind you, we might just start tuition, but we leaving here at 9:15 because we gotta go. I'm gonna hit key takeaways. Because I don't know if y'all ever drove out of Alameda and missed that tunnel. Look here. Don't it feel like you are like in a movie and you just trying to get back to civilization? That's just ridiculous. And y'all know Alameda cops just looking for a reason. So you be thinking, oh, this is some bullshit. anyway, go ahead. So key takeaway.
Don't let that bridge come up when the boats come past.
Oh, that's so cold being stuck. Yeah,
That happened to me last time. That happened to me last
and you said that you tired, you fall asleep in the car like this. Oh, this is ridiculous. Anyway, go ahead.
We were taught to learn from people with the answers.
So we were taught this all life, learn from people with the answers.
But life, and especially entrepreneurship, teaches us to learn from the questions.
Wait, freeze. Y'all ever hear, there was a technique I learned from Jesus Christ. Do you ever pay attention? Jesus was a master question answer. He asked, look, just do the research. Jesus is masterful asking questions. No, y'all. Okay.
I hate Josh.
I don't know what Josh said.
He said, what would Jesus do? WWYD.
What would Jesus do?
Shabisha is Josh's kryptonite too. He'll shut the fuck up on Shabisha.
Well, once again, Jews, Jesus, all the same thing. Anyway, what is this? What is this? But the point I'm saying is this. The power of questions are unbelievable. If you spend more time trying to find the best question as opposed to the best answer, you'll be surprised how fast you grow your wisdom. What's the best question? Mashama, if you're around Mashama is, his acceleration of growth is always impresses me. Mashama is a king of questions. If you're around me and we're having a conversation that gets deep, I'm going to turn it into a question dialogue. My wife just had a conversation where she had some friction with her mother, and she's about to write a text on her response. I said, turn it into a question. You know how much the energy it takes to turn something into a question? Because it requires a deeper level of ownership of the subject you're discussing. It requires also transferable empathy. You got to be able to have enough empathy. You got to be able to see the person and the situation and the patterns that exist. Where are the things that are, remember we talked about incentives? Can you see the incentives? If you just provide answers, you blind to incentives. Whenever you can think about anything, think about incentives. Incentives drives human behaviors. But if you're always looking for the answer, you are blind to incentives. Questions require for you to pay attention to incentives. This game is cold. Keep going.
The real education begins when the answers run out.
This is where you put your big boy pants on when the answers run out.
You bet, bruh.
Hey man, look here. That's not possible. All right, go to the next slide. I'm gonna just tap the subject a little bit, but we're about to get this. Intuition. So let me just say this real quick. When back in the days with intuition, I've dismissed it historically because it was always tied to my gut told me what to do. But it was because the people who framed it at the time shrunk the framework. But you can't have math without intuition. You know that? Mathematicians use intuition. They imagine themselves engaging something and go, huh. And that's the foundation of where math comes from, is intuition. Did you know that? I didn't know that until like a few years ago. Let's jump into the first slide. I'm almost like that. At 9:15, I'm gonna like the person just like rabbit you at the party, and then you're gonna turn around, gone. so 9:15 just let you know it's gonna be abrupt. Hey, those of you at home, save your emotions. It's gonna be abrupt. So there's no problem with YouTube. I'm just out. Go ahead.
Intuition is a library, not a snapshot.
Oh, so real quick, let's start with that. Intuition is a library. What does that mean? That means you have these antennas. Just imagine your brain, your body's full of antennas, and you pull in more data than you're processing, right? But because you pull in data don't mean because you process it through intuition it's always right or wrong. But it is data. This is important to pay attention to. Keep going.
Your intuition is built from every story, emotion, and interpretation you've stored over time.
So mind you, that's where the strength and the corruption also exist. So once again, every story, emotion, and interpretation you built over time builds it impacts your intuition. This is important. Keep going.
If a key book in that library is wrong, say a misjudgment from years ago that never got updated, your future instincts will continue referencing it.
Perfect. Keep going.
Example. If you once trusted someone who betrayed you and never revisited why that happened, your intuition may overcorrect, teaching you don't trust anyone.
Freeze. That's powerful as fuck. That's crazy powerful. Because a lot of times, if you don't learn from your previous mistakes, you build systems in your future that's causing you to lose. So you have damaged intuition because you didn't learn. So the reason remember we used to have our retreats, and one of the first things we used to say is you have to forgive the people who caused your historical trauma. Because by you forgiving the people who caused your historical trauma, you could then gain space to process it so you can move forward and now not be because if your intuition is damaged by that historical trauma, then you're almost repeating the impact of that trauma moving forward because your intuition is tainted by that historical trauma. So you got to process it. And some things that you had a bad experience from, if you blame the other person, like person C in previous class, and it was really you that had the power to control it, you didn't have radical responsibility because when it happened, you didn't own the phrase radical responsibility, then you don't know what you could have done different. We're not talking about extreme trauma. So please don't put this in the category of don't let your brain go to extreme. Like, what about when you get raped and then stabbed and then shot and then killed and then mutated and then die and then come back? That's not what the fuck I said. I said a lot of things that give you trauma, you will say, oh, I will never date a person like that before. Again, is it the person or was it you? And if you don't process it, or how often does that person come into your path? Or why did you even choose that person? If you're not having that kind of conversation, you're developing tainted intuition. Keep going.
That's not intuition. That's uncorrected trauma disguised as wisdom.
Woo, hold on, freeze. Black people, I'm gonna talk to black people because some of y'all might think you're not black. Black people online. Listen, this is very, very serious. Black people have been in this country, we experience a lot of fucking trauma. So a lot of our wisdom we think is trauma is just trauma. And when somebody goes against that wisdom, the reason we get mad at them is because we think they're stupid. They're not stupid. It's that they have been able to break the path of trauma. I'm telling you, for somebody who's performing, a lot of times when I'm around, like you realize most of my family I can't talk to because they're impacted by historical trauma that's been passed down with grandma hugs. And so we think it's to our intuition. And, when I'm around white people, I'm picking up on some things. I'm sensing no, you're feeling a lot of fucked up trauma. And at some point, the shit was real. I'm not saying that. But like with Black Wall Street, every time we tell that story, tell me if it doesn't poke the wound of our trauma, right? But no one ever asks, well, where did it come from? Like, if you're surrounded by racism on every block, how the fuck you build that shit? And the more questions you ask, you realize, oh, by default, it was fragile because one man discovered oil that funded all those businesses. One man, you see the weakness? Number two, when they got bombed and thrown in the Coliseum by the what's the force? Local city force, military, National Guards. They rebuilt. Did you remember know they rebuilt and came back just as strong, right? But what ended up hurting him was generational later the children didn't want it anymore. No one tells you that, huh? But if you don't learn that, so when somebody tells a story, when I didn't know that, all I felt was ouch. But when I learned the stories, I was like, yeah, I hear what y'all saying, but that's not how it happened. And you go to the museum, ask questions. Fly out to Memphis, go there to the museum, and start asking questions. Well, where did it come from? What happened after the bombing? Then how they lose it then? Or the kids just didn't want it? They wanted to go get jobs? Oh, that's crazy. Like, also too, what industry are you controlling? Because you're not gonna stay in business because you have a business. What control of industry do you have? Like, there's so many things if you don't, even like at that time, distribution and middleman was strong. This time, distribution and middleman doesn't exist. So all those variables are different, but if you don't learn, you're trapped, your intuition and how you're making quick decisions from the gut is trapped by historical trauma. That's important to know this. So we got to escape our own trauma, our cultural trauma, to play this game. Otherwise, okay, how do you get a people who've been abused historically, who suffer from trauma, to ever know they're free? Anytime they feel friction, it's going to activate their trauma and they're thinking this is oppression. And it might be like, no, this is the trauma. This might be the friction of just large populations of people living next to each other. But to our brain, we go, no, this feels like racism to me because what I've been through, what my people been through. So evolving, the intuition is not pure. It can be tainted, and then you think your wisdom, you being wise, and our wise people in our community are saying, no, you don't fuck with this, don't fuck with that. What's that brother that used to work for the government who helped with affirmative action? People love him. Light-skinned brother from back in the 70s helped develop affirmative action. Not help. People, somebody didn't take any black classes. Somebody got their blackness from MSNBC. This brother said Al Sharpton. Oh my God. Okay. I forgot his name. I'll bring it up next time. What's his name?
Andrew Young?
No. This dude, he's always talking about what's wrong with a lot of stuff. And he sounds extremely intelligent. But if you once you learn how to hear trauma.
Dr. Claude.
Dr.
Claude.
No. Hey man, if your kid want to know anything about blackness, tell him do not talk to Jasadi. Do not talk to him about Jasadi. He gonna tell him all kind of wrong stuff. The first black man to open the door for black people was James Brown because he said it in the song. Open the door, I get it myself. Okay, all right, let's keep going because I got 3 minutes. Let's go. Come on. That's not intuition.
That's not intuition. That's uncorrected trauma disguised as wisdom. By re-examining that old experience, you replace the emotional distortion with clarity, which upgrades your intuitive database.
Now, mind you, let me say this real quick. Everybody can hear my voice. You should be in a constant mode of upgrading your intuition. Your intuition is a powerful ass tool, but it has to be upgraded all the time. And there's some things you have to learn how to resolve intuition distortions, which you want to get into. Go hit one more slide. We got 2 minutes to see if there's anything I can cover here in 2 minutes. Okay, here you go.
Memory and emotions are linked. When an intuition misfires, the emotional sting often embeds itself in a memory, creating a bias. That bias may unconsciously whisper, last time I felt this way, it went badly. Don't go there again. Even when current conditions are totally different.
So pause real quick. This is applying to business, but I'm going to try grounded folks since we black folks. It's a black class. I don't have a problem making this black as hell. A lot of people when you talk about building businesses in the black community, man, last time in the 60s, when the Black Panthers did, when Malcolm, when Martin, when Marcus Garvey said, those times don't exist no more, bro. No, I promise you. Cell phones fucked up the game. Internet fucked the game up. There's so many things that fucked the game up that didn't exist at the time. Also, you don't even know the size of those towns when they went to those. They wrote those stories like they was this big world, and you realize you talking about 400,000 people. That's all you worked with. That's all. Where now you're in the Bay Area with 7.5 million people. Like the game is different, but you don't know that because you're so traumatized that even when you read the stuff that speaks to your trauma as opposed to speaking to your possibilities and your options. Keep going.
Correcting old intuitions mean updating emotional meaning, learning that I wasn't wrong to feel, I was wrong to interpret. Mm-hmm. That subtle shift allows you to reclaim trust in your intuitive signals without carrying the old fear.
So, yep. So listen here. We're going to pick this up next week.
We out here.
Hey, I love all y'all. Shout out to all the black folks. Talk to y'all next week. Bye.